And we are live, back in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much. Welcome back to Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. On behalf of Summit Kaiju and on behalf of the awesome collectible show, Collect All Monsters, and we are back again with an awesome live stream discussion. Yes, we are. And we are talking about nothing but the MONSTERVERSE films and our favorite collectibles from those awesome films from Legendary Studios. We're talking about Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019, and of course, we're talking about just a little bit the upcoming new film from the MONSTERVERSE, Godzilla versus Kong. So yeah, I want to thank y'all so much for being a part of this discussion. Those who are in the chat room right now, Greg Betters, Kaiju Battle, Michael Farah, how you doing? A few more people is going to be coming aboard. So without further ado, you already know who I am, Leslie P. Chambers. Let me introduce my awesome cast of characters here, my fellow Godzilla YouTubers, super cool, awesome gentlemen. Please go to their individual channels once I introduce them. Of course, first and foremost, making his first appearance here on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews live streams. Of course, we have Aj Russo from the awesome collectible auction YouTube show, Kaiju Live. How you doing, AJ?
Doing great, man. How you doing? Thank you for the introduction.
No problem. I'm trying to do my Steve Harvey here, except I don't have the big lips, so just bear with me, okay? All right. Coming from Florida. Yes, my great grand from Florida. He's been down with me since day one. You know him, you love him. You know him as Matt Jacobson, but you may know him better as Godzilla 851 here on YouTube. How you doing, Matt?
Doing good. How you doing?
Great. Thank you for being a part of this discussion. And yes, down, we have William Fett from the awesome, cool YouTube Godzilla show, The Godzilla Files, making his reappearance here on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. How you doing, William?
Not bad. Happy to be here. Can't wait to talk about all these great collectibles from X Plus and everyone else.
All right. Representing Cincinnati, Ohio. No, I'm not talking about WKRP. I'm talking about Cincinnati, Ohio's biggest Kaiju fan. He's the king, not Kong, but still, Phillip Frazier, also known as Phil the Kaiju King. How you doing, Phil?
I'm good, sir. Hope everyone out there watching is good. God bless everybody. Thank you.
And last but not least, my other great friend who's been down for me since day one. Of course, he's doing the whole Batista thing look going on right now. The 1984 Godzilla's biggest fan, of course, Butch Bollinger, but you may know him better as BRUTAZILLA here on YouTube. How you doing, Butch?
I'm doing good. I'm just excited to do this discussion here, take our minds off of everything that's been going on, you know?
Yes, and first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. Of course, everybody's aware of what's going on in the world as we're combating this coronavirus. And we want to I think I speak on behalf of my co-hosts when I say that we want everybody to stay safe, be informed, please abide by the rules, and we will get through this thing. It's not a question of if we'll get through this thing, it's only a question of when, but we have to do our part. And we're doing our part tonight to hopefully take your mind off things for a little bit, hopefully put some smiles on your faces, and hopefully us talking about these films will make you go back and revisit them or revisit the collectibles you have in pertaining to these films. The whole idea is try to just get through this the best we can. And before we go any further, let me say two things first. First and foremost, I did promote that my wife, Sandra, was going to be here, but unfortunately she had to do a couple runs on her side job, so she's not here. She will be here in spirit, and she will be tell y'all hello and all that good stuff. And number two, before we go into the MONSTERVERSE discussion, I wanted to ask my co-host, of course, it sucks what's going on, but if there's something positive you can tell the world, or at least tell the people that are watching the show, what's the one good thing about this virus hitting, or what it has changed your life for the better that you can share with the rest of the folks that maybe they can be inspired to probably do the same thing? AJ, we'll start with you, then Matt, then William, then Phillip, then Butch. I'll follow on the tail end. So AJ, you're up first, sir.
Well, it's nice to finally work out again. That's always nice. But number one thing for sure is just family time. It's, me and my wife both work. Baby's always at the babysitter's. So, basically been full-time babysitter now, hanging out. And yeah, family time has been great, although I can't see. I think Dad's watching. Haven't seen my extended family because we're all in quarantine, but immediate family, it's been good.
Ooh, Kong.
Oh no,
Why you
Kong,
what?
Kong doesn't like it.
Kong, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Sorry about that, AJ. But yeah, sorry about that. Yes, that's great sound advice. I really appreciate it. Matt, you're up next.
I've been working out, just cleaning random things, and just catching up on movies, other videos from YouTube or wherever. So just had a little time to just sit down and be myself. Going back to work tomorrow. We'll see how long that works. But yeah, just having a little time to myself.
Nice.
All right, William, you're up next.
I gotta say, I work in healthcare, so the thing that I've seen, most is that like my staff, as far as taking care of residents and just continuing to come into work when you're going to a high risk area, it's just amazing. So the fact that everyone has kind of come together in my community has been just amazing.
Yeah,
So,
real superheroes right now, for sure.
yeah. So, I give my hats off to my staff all the time. I think they're some of the best, for what they're doing. I can help them, but honestly, the amount of stuff that they do for my residents and everything else like that is just phenomenal.
All right, Phil, you're up next, my friend.
Yeah, I'd echo what some of the other guys said. Spend time with family, watching a lot of movies, watching a lot of these movies, really. And also, I still try to spend some money, like at restaurants and stuff, or carry out, because we got to try to keep the country going a little bit if we can. So just spend time with your family and hug your family, love your family. I love my girlfriend. I'm here with her. She's here all the time for me, and she's a great lady. And I just hope everyone does good and makes it through this. And like William said with the medical people, God bless all them for what they're doing. So God bless America. God bless the world. Let's hope everybody makes it through this on a good note.
Well said. Butch, you up next.
Well, just like everybody else has said, spending time with family and watching a lot of movies, and fortunately still going to work. I work at a hospital in the kitchen, and of course precautions are being taken every time I go and stuff. And I guess I could say something positive that I saw a couple days ago, which I thought was really really cool. Was like on my way to the parking lot, I saw like some like a group of people apparently have drawn like messages thanking everybody in the healthcare, like nurses and doctors, and like they had a sidewalk chalk on the ground, and they like said stuff like you bring positive vibes, thank you for what you've done, and then like you look beautiful in that mask. And I thought that was really cool, like just to show support to what they're doing for us, So yeah.
Well, in my case, as many of y'all know, I'm a truck driver. So, like William, I'm a life sustaining or life essential business that still have to keep going. And I'm doing the best I can, as a driver, still being out there talking with people or meeting with people, not knowing what's going on, and even though it's depressing to see like the highways halfway full, or see like shopping centers that would normally be crowded, just nobody's there, movie theaters, it's just our way of life has been fractured. And it just, I would say it came out of nowhere. It kind of did, but then again, it kind of didn't, because we saw signs of this like a month ago, whatever. But in just a month, it's just like things that we take for granted, like going to a restaurant, sitting down, having a nice dinner with your wife, or going to a movie theater, or going to the playground with your kids. We can't really do that anymore, at least not right now. So what it has done for me personally, it just made me appreciate the things that I used to take for granted. And once we come out of this, I'm not going to take that stuff for granted anymore. I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, I don't want to go to the park because I'm tired or I've done this, whatever, making excuses because I can always do it tomorrow. This situation proves that, that stuff can be taken away from you. But what I am positive about is that we will get through this. And I'm just glad that when I called for this discussion to come together, my friends here was like, good, I'm there. And I think through it all, it doesn't matter if G-Fest is still happening. It doesn't matter if the Godzilla vs. Kong movie or trailer gets delayed. It doesn't matter if the new X Plus figure comes out on its original release date. What matters is us, human beings, as fans and as human beings. Because at the end of the day, we all have each other. And that's what's most important. Spending more time with my wife, spending more time with my family, just putting things in perspective really just make me just see things differently. I'm trying to look at things from a positive perspective. Like I always say, the glass is half full, not half empty. It's bad what's happening, but it could be a whole lot worse. So hopefully during this discussion, hopefully we can take your mind off things. Hopefully we can, with our opinions and our thoughts and discussions of these films and these collectibles, maybe it can help y'all, make y'all go back and rewatch these films. Because these films are awesome. Despite what some people may say about them, I think the films are amazing. And if you got some of these collectibles pertaining to the films, go back and, go up to your room or where you got your collection, just admire, Godzilla or Kong or the Death of Reels or the SH Monster Arts or the model kits or whatever. So that's what we hope to achieve here. So everybody in the chat that come aboard over 9K, Demon by Design, Godzilla Train 1090, just everybody that's in the chat right now, or anybody or everybody that's watching us right now, thank you very much. You're in for a fun show. You know what I'm saying? Just forget the coronavirus. The virus and what's going on in the world is not going on right now on this show. And we're going to help you see through that. But first and foremost, everybody has been here on my show at one time before. Matt, Phillip, William, and Butch. But we got a newbie in the room. Aj Russo from the awesome Sunday auction show, Kaiju Live. Once again, let me just say something about Kaiju Live. Kaiju Live is an awesome show if you have not seen it. Not only is it a collectible auction show, but AJ, along with his father and his wife, they also interact with the audience. So if the audience is like talking amongst themselves, aside from them bidding on the stuff that AJ is trying to sell, it makes for a fun, interactive situation. It's not a typical auction where AJ's like, no, it's nothing like that. Of course, they do that, but he also interacts with the audience to make it a fun-filled show. And I highly suggest you go and check him out. Please subscribe to his channel, Kaiju Live. But since he's the new guy in the room, I have to ask this question. I've asked this question for everybody else that's come on my show that's new. So, AJ, what was your first Godzilla film that made you a fan, and what is your favorite if they're one and the same? Go for it.
So technically, I didn't actually see this movie, but when I was brewing in my mother's oven, apparently I kicked when they were seeing Godzilla 1984 in the movie theater. So I think that's where it first started. As for favorite Godzilla movie, it's Godzilla vs. Mothra, 64.
Whoa. Oh, okay. You almost got me there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kiss up to you. 64 is my favorite movie. That's the one that's always stuck out to me forever. So yeah.
I told you there was only one right answer.
AJ, you have no idea how close you came to getting off this stream, buddy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
You don't like G84, man?
No, 84. I thought you meant Godzilla vs. Mothra in 1992. I thought that was
no. I mean, Batra's cool and all, but no.
Okay.
I was about to say, like, dude, this ain't going in well. This ain't gonna be good.
No,
but if I know my friends very well, so by the tally, Mothra versus Godzilla, AJ and William is Mothra versus Godzilla. Phil is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 1974, right?
It varies between that and Gigan. I go back and forth.
Well, you ain't got to tonight. Pick one.
Gigan, because Gigan's my favorite baddie, so Gigan.
And of course, Butch is Godzilla 1984.
Yep.
Actually, 1985, because we all know 85 is a better version.
Hell yeah.
And Matt, actually, I think his favorite film is one of the films we're going to talk about tonight. Am I right, Matt?
Yep.
Of course, his favorite film is 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters. So yeah, that film trumps all. Yes, that trumps all the classics. And I can't wait to get. So I can't wait to get Matt some perspective on that. So, but yeah, now that we got that out of the way, of course, man, AJ, you just raised like 55,000 points with me just now with Monster vs. Godzilla. So you definitely talking about. Woo!
That's the best looking Godzilla. It's got that mean look. Just he doesn't care. Just wants to eat that egg, man. That's it. It's like, why are you trying to mess with this? I just want this egg.
That Godzilla, I mean, I know a lot of people say he's evil, but to me, I mean, he is evil, or at least evil looking. He's just trying to eat, man. But he just looks like. But he just looks like wherever you look at him, he just looks real irritated. Like if you, he kind of looks like somebody if you ask him for some money. He looks back at you like,
yeah, that like zoom in shot where he's just got like the eyes low and everything, and he's just like, just don't ask me anything right now.
And then Mothra comes in and he does this. He's like, oh Lord, here comes this trick. Okay, here we go. So, all right. We're going to jump head first into the MONSTERVERSE. Now, before we go into each individual film, let's give our initial thoughts of the films themselves. Just your overall initial thoughts, not go into a lot of deep detail because we're going to go into the films individually, quite frankly. But your overall thoughts of the MONSTERVERSE as a whole. Do you like them? Do you love them? Just give your initial thoughts. Like I said, AJ, Matt, then William, Phil, Butch, and then myself. AJ, the floor is yours.
I enjoy them. I mean, it's pretty hard not to. In terms of the best movie, I would probably say Skull Island is the best overall movie out of the three. Although King of the Monsters just has some of the best stuff we've ever seen. But I'll say Skull Island is the best overall out of the three.
Matt, you up next.
So it goes King of the Monsters, then Skull Island, then 2014.
So your overall thoughts are just that?
Okay, I'll go a little further in. King of the Monsters, it's like Ghidorah 3-headed monster, except turned up to 11. Kong Skull Island, just it's like the 76 and the 30s Kong rolled into one. Kingdom 2014, I actually hated that movie at first, but then after watching it multiple times, I grew to appreciate it more. But the first time I watched it, I almost walked out of it. But that's because personal stuff was happening, and it wasn't moving to the point when I get angry, I hate everything. So when it wasn't moving the way how I thought it would, I actually almost walked out, and then I watched it again when I calmed down, and I grew to like it more. But out of the three films, I think it was just not as what I wanted completely, but it's good, not great.
William, you up next?
To me, it's the best cinematic universe next to Marvel. It's the only one that's actually gotten off the ground when you really think about it. And every other cinematic universe, whether you look at Universal's Monsters or DC, have basically made it to like maybe one film, and then the second film, everything just kind of collapsed in on itself.
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, well, it gets worse.
At least it was fun, kind of.
Yeah.
It's just depressing either way.
But overall, I think they are enjoyable films. I think they're great for people that are coming into the fandom. I think it's definitely opened up a lot of people to the idea of watching Godzilla films, and so that's something that I really like. They're not all perfect. I think there's definitely issues with all of them, but honestly, overall, I've left every film pretty much enjoying them. I didn't have a bad time watching any of the films whatsoever.
All right, Phil, represent Cincinnati, Ohio. Go for it.
I like the MONSTERVERSE. 14 to me is a slow burn. Second half of it's really good, and 14 is very serious tone. As they went on, they got more whimsical and especially King of the Monsters. It really had fantastical stuff like some of the older Godzilla movies. My favorite is Kong Skull Island. It just is. I don't know why. It just Kong, I guess. I'm a Kong guy, so I like that movie the best. But I like the way the first two movies set things up for what's coming, you know, in my opinion. And I'm really surprised to close that Toho let us do this again after what happened in '98. I'm shocked that they let the United States have this property again, and I'm glad they did, though.
Isn't Gino still the highest grossing Godzilla movie technically, though? Which is so weird to say.
Yeah.
It
might be. But
Yeah,
it's like, how? How did this happen?
Zilla. I just call it Zilla. So
Yeah, Gino.
I think so. I think I was reading up on it a couple days ago because I'm planning to do a review as it relates to the '98 film, and by doing some research, I think it is like the one that made the most money. You can't tell by watching the film, but
hype was part of that film.
Yeah, but
everywhere in '98, Taco Bell, the side of Busted.
Yeah.
I mean, there was more Godzilla stuff in 1998 than I think I've ever seen that I remember at this point. You know,
yeah, the billboards in New York were crazy. They were like, his tail goes from, you know, one side of the street, other side of the street, and it was nuts.
Exactly.
Just God bless Toho that they let us have another chance.
Definitely.
I will admit the movie may suck, but at least the marketing, what they did to promote that film was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. The first trailer with the kids in the museum, and the one where he knocks down the New Year's Eve ball. AJ, I hope you weren't there when that happened.
No. I was watching on TV though and was like, wait, what's going on? It's going nuts in my living room.
But I will admit, like, the build up to the monster's appearance in the film, you know, him attacking the fishing trawler, him pulling down the fishing trawlers, even when he makes landfall in New York, where the shots you see, you don't get a good look at him. You see a foot in one stand, you may see a tail in another, you may see the side of his face. You don't really get like a good look at the monster. I thought that was handled really well, but once you do see it, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm done.
I think Gino is a good monster movie. It's just not Godzilla.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I agree
with that.
If I just watch that movie and like it's not Godzilla, I'm like, this is good. But it's like, why? The cartoon blows the movie away. I don't know if anyone watched.
Thank you.
Agree.
Animated series is unbelievable. Like, I don't know why that didn't become somehow on the screen. It's a shame, really.
It's funny too. When I watched the movie, now I watched it when I was in college, and obviously, I knew for a fact I was probably the biggest Godzilla nerd in there, and because I had a Godzilla shirt on and blah blah blah, I didn't really care, and I'm sitting there watching it. Even when he comes on screen, when you see him for the first time, I'm like, oh, okay, but then. But listen, I was like,
is this the wrong movie? What is this?
But I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay with it because even then I was a college student and I didn't have that much money. So me paying for a ticket, I'm like, look, if I walk out now, I'm gonna lose my investment. And it's bad enough that this Godzilla is not what I want it to be, but to lose money on top of it, so I might as well just stay with it. You know what I'm saying? But then when it got to the point where you find out he's pregnant, I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute now, hold on, no, he just. And then after that, I was like, I just didn't care. I was like, just end it already. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. I was like, Toho, please do something in 6 months. But thank God they answered my prayer. So,
isn't Godzilla typically always asexual though? I mean, where did meaning come from?
We ain't doing it tonight. All right, we're not doing that.
That'll be we ain't doing that.
I mean, because that open up a can of worms about Minya, and we ain't trying to bring this stream down. So let's just keep it moving.
I'm sorry.
All right, Butch, you're up next. Your overall thoughts of the MONSTERVERSE. Your first overall thoughts.
Okay, I love the MONSTERVERSE, and my favorite of the three is definitely Godzilla King of the Monsters. I just love I love Godzilla 2014's design, but this movie, I just love his design way better. The tweaks they did, and I think they should keep him like the way he is for the next movie. And this movie, I love King Ghidorah 64, but this one made me love King Ghidorah even more because I love how he seems like they all have personalities, and then I love how they gave him like names, Ichi, Ni, San, or Kevin, and I just love the way he looks. I love the way he looks, and Rodan's design is awesome as well. And Mothra, this is probably like the way I see Mothra in this movie. This is like if Mothra was a real kaiju in real life, this is what she would look like, in my opinion. And I just love the this movie, and the second one would probably be Kong Skull Island being the second, and then third being Godzilla 2014. And I'm glad we got the MonsterVerse, and I'm really looking forward to Godzilla versus Kong if whenever we get the chance to see it.
The way I feel about the MonsterVerse is I love this. I love these sets. Love this set of films. What I love most about the MonsterVerse, and maybe it's the traditionalist in me, the traditional hardcore Godzilla fan in me. I just love going back to what Phillip just said. Why would Toho trust these characters again? With the United States or just another property, another studio other than Toho. I just like the fact, and love the fact rather, that Gareth Edwards, is it Jordan Voight Roberts who did Skull Island? Yeah, him. And of course, Michael Dougherty. What I love about them is like they had a vision for each one of these films that play into this great story arc. And what they did was they embraced the mythology. They embraced why these characters are so beloved. You know what I'm saying? They embraced it. They enjoyed it. They incorporated it into the films. And I love that. I mean, nothing against the 98 Godzilla, but that film, or at least that interpretation of Godzilla, was so far off from the original. Not trying to say you should make a copy of the original, because you can't really do that. The only two things that the 98 Godzilla had in common with the original Godzilla was the fact that it was big and that the nuclear radiation tie into its origin. That's about it. But with these MonsterVerse films, they went a step further, like I said, by incorporating the mythology, incorporating little Easter eggs here and there, but yet at the same time, they were able to weave a brand new story with these characters. That's why I love the MonsterVerse, especially like what BRUTAZILLA just said about King Ghidorah. Like the way they reinvented him, just the way they did it by having all three heads have a different personality, and the middle one somewhat being the leader. It's like I never thought about that before when it came to King Ghidorah. They gave him a personality, an evil personality. And ever since 64, I've always wanted to see another King Ghidorah incarnation come close to it. And unfortunately, even though I love Monster Zero, Destroy All Monsters, the Heisei, and the Millennium, whatever, nothing has came close, in my opinion, to really touching that original King Ghidorah. But the MonsterVerse does. And I'm glad, once again, like I said, that these great filmmakers, these actors that were a part of the production, Samuel Jackson, Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, John Goodman, Ken Watanabe, Sally Hawkins, all these great actors, they didn't look at it and like, oh, these films about those cheesy monster films. No, they enjoyed it. They were a part of they made the films believable with their roles and how they took the characters seriously, and how the filmmakers, just like I said, embraced the source material and the mythology and created a great new story. That's why I'm loving the MonsterVerse. So that's my overall thoughts of the MonsterVerse. So, and speaking of the MonsterVerse, let's go into the first film. Let's talk about what we like, what we don't like about the first film in the MonsterVerse. Of course, I'm talking about Godzilla 2014. And AJ, you up first. Go for it.
What I don't
and
like?
Also, if you can, after we done with our commentary, what we think about it, name your favorite collectible if you have one, or if you want one pertaining to the film. AJ, go for it.
I'm sorry. My wife was in childhood down here. What was it? Favorite thing or thing you didn't like? I apologize.
No, after you talk about your overall, after you talk about what you like, what you don't like about 2014 Godzilla, at the end, tell us what is your favorite collectible from the film, whether you have it or something that you're eyeing that you want.
Sorry about the delay. Things that I love about it. I love the slow burn approach. I was a big fan of all those kind of movies like Alien, Predator, Jaws. So I really love that. I think him coming up in was that Hawaii? Is that the island?
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
That whole emergence scene is perfect. Aside from his feet, which are just I don't know what they were doing with elephant feet, but whatever. And I love the Mewtwo's. I love them. I think they are some of the best original kaiju that we've gotten in a long time. They actually like had a story to them without really them giving you much. The only thing that I would say I really didn't like, I was really disappointed that Bryan Cranston's character got killed off. I really thought we were going to get a, Serizawa Cranston scientist love fest kind of thing. And then we just got the same old like military angle, which I was just kind of like, okay. And then obviously what everyone always complained about, just a little bit more monster action, after the third time where they cut away and you're like, I really just want to see monsters fight at this point. Like, just give me a little bit. But my favorite part, because I saw that movie like 6 times in the movie theater. My favorite part was every time I saw that movie, every time his fins lit up for the first time, there was always some little kid in the theater that was like, yeah. And I was like, that was me. And that's still me now. As for favorite toy, it has to be
the collectible tag on it.
Yes, you're right. How dare me? Favorite collectible from that movie, we have the original, and I just love the flying male. I mean, as much as I dig the other one behind me with the the female Mewtwo head, I'm just shocked we didn't get more or anything of this. Like, I don't even think Bandai did this, or maybe they did. I don't know. Just weird. So I treasure this guy. He's awesome. So yeah, that would be my favorite collectible from the first one.
All right, Matt, you're up next. Your overall thoughts of 2014 and what's your favorite collectible from the film? Now, hold on. Let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this. Please don't get mad while you're talking about this. I don't want you walking out. Let's just breathe. Breathe. Okay? Let's just breathe. Breathe. Okay? All right? Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it.
So my favorite collectible is the 30 centimeter from 2014. I have the Rick as well, but the Bluetooth's all the way up there. So let me tell you what I liked about it. It's a lot shorter. Just Godzilla fighting the Mutos, and that the Mutos were like bumpers in the end to put Godzilla over for future films. What I didn't like about the movie, of course, constantly cutting away from Godzilla, which the movie's called Godzilla. Why are we cutting away from the character? Killing off Bryan Cranston for Aaron Taylor Johnson. I never liked him. Never liked Aaron Taylor Johnson. He always annoyed me in every movie that he was in. So that was also really annoying. I like Dr. Serizawa. But they would constantly treat him like he was an idiot throughout the movie. I didn't like that very much until the end.
Scientists are always idiots. It's like every movie.
They just know everything, and those too many idiots anyway. Let's just nuke everything. Yeah, that always solves everything. I didn't like that the movie was mainly a Muto movie, and it's pretty much a remake of Gareth Edwards' movie Monsters, where once again, it's another movie about 2 male and female monster that want to get together to have kids. It's like, okay, he did that already, so he just made a big budget version of it.
Very true.
That first scene in Hawaii when you see Godzilla starting to come on land, it's like, all right, this is going to be awesome. And they cut away. I just remember watching that in the movie theater and just being really angry when that scene just cut off for the little kid watching it on TV. It's like, come on, it's right there. You had the footage done. It's like, Yeah, I'm not a fan of 2014 completely. It's about a C+ movie for me, but yeah, all right, I better move. I better pass this off to someone else before I start dropping F bombs.
No lie.
I have to say, it C+
No
is still
lie.
pretty high after all that negative.
Yeah,
No lie.
it's still a Godzilla movie, technically. You know, 'cause they focus on the Mutos and Aaron Taylor Johnson a little too much, but yeah. All right, moving on.
No lie. Actually, Matt is, I love him to death, but he's very passionate about what he produces for like his content. But when he gets angry, he can't really talk. He can't really say anything. I remember one time I asked him to do a video about the third Cloverfield movie because I didn't see it. I heard bad things about it.
Good.
But I asked him like, "Hey, did you watch?" I'm like, "Did you watch the third Cloverfield movie?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Could you do a video about all three films and just let me know how it is? That way I can, try and track it down if I do want to watch it." And he said, "No, I just can't. That movie has made me mad, so I'm gonna have to turn down." He was like, "I love you to death, but I'm sorry, I can't make my eyes bleed by watching that movie again."
You need a big one of these to watch that movie and get through it, basically.
So
dumb.
So I understand what Matt is saying. Like, if Matt's not feeling it, I mean, I think we all kind of feel this way. If we're not feeling a certain movie, then we're just not gonna really touch it, the anime. But anyways, William, go for it. You're up next.
So I had the Roaring Godzilla 2014 with the Muto head. I really did like it, but I actually did sell him, mostly just because of the fact that I was kind of going to just the Defo-Reel line for my MonsterVerse figures. But the movie overall, I did enjoy when I first saw it. It was definitely more in line with the original Godzilla 1984, in the sense that it was a little bit more serious. I think, nothing's really played for jokes in this film. There's, they throw a little humor here and there, but overall, it's a pretty serious film. The MonsterVerse kind of follows the Showa kind of filmmaking process, where you start off with a really serious one, and then they kind of get goofier and goofier as they go on, and more, just more crazy. So, but as far as 2014 goes, I do love the fighting when we do get it. I think it was really well done. Godzilla felt like a real animal in this one. Not as weird, I guess, as weird as it sounds, a guy in a suit. He felt like a real, like he would act, like if he was real, this is how he would fight. When he obviously finally uses his atomic breath, love that. I think that's a great scene. And the film, the one thing that it does really well is it's just the sound effects. So like when you're hearing it like kind of start up, it's like boom, 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 and like all of a sudden you start seeing the blue light kind of go all the way around, and then he shoots his atomic breath. That's such a great scene. It is probably one of the best in the movie. Obviously, I think the human characters are probably its weaker point. The whole entire relationship between the main character and his wife just kind of always seemed odd to me. A lot of it just didn't make sense. But, overall, though, I still think it was a good start to the MonsterVerse. I like the fact that they really try to set up everything and make a good film and not kind of put everything all in one. They just kept it as its own film. So that was a good idea.
All right, Phillip, you're up next.
Did you get his collectible, Williams?
Yeah, he said the original 2014 30 centimeter, right? From
That's right. Yeah, the 3 centimeter Roaring Godzilla with the Muto head.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
I liked the movie. I was glad they brought Godzilla back for America to try again. When I look at this Godzilla, I do think, yeah, that's Godzilla. And it is a slow burn, the movie. For me, it's a slow burn. And they do try to make it tense and everything. And I thought they did a good job at that. And like Matt said, though, they kept cutting away a lot. That was kind of aggravating. But when he was floating the first time when he was talking about him on the ship, and they showed his dorsal plates floating along, it made me think that looks like Faroe Islands floating along in the ocean from '62 because his dorsal plates look like mountains. So it was just kind of cool, but I like the design. It's okay. 19 is better in my opinion, but the movie's a slow burn. The second half is better in my opinion. I like that they had Sarah Zawa in there for Godzilla fans. Most just people wouldn't know who that is, unless you're a Godzilla fan. So I like the Mutos. They're pretty cool. They're not my favorite original MonsterVerse designed monster, but they're okay. My biggest complaint about the movie, it's too dark. It's way too dark. You can't. The fighting, it's just too dark. I think King of the Monsters was better, but a lot of it was dark too. But it's just too dark. Like that was my biggest complaint on it. But I did enjoy it. I thought that's Godzilla, and then the first time you heard him roar when he showed up at the airport in his first big reveal, it was awesome. Awesome way to reveal him. But it was just my biggest complaint. It's just too dark.
And your favorite collectible from the film?
Right here.
Mark Sang strikes again. There he goes.
Custom. Gigantic. It's a kind of a hybrid, but I'm calling it a 14. It's more 14 than 19, but that's my favorite collectible probably. It's got those elephant feet, yeah. It's got
Oh God! I mean, I'm not laughing at your custom. It just makes me it just reminds me like God Almighty, like why?
Yeah,
like I'm on board with 90% of it, but like why? Like, can he even stand up?
That's the worst. That's the worst part of that design is his feet.
Well, what's crazy is Edwards was actually saying that was trying to argue that those feet is what he would need to actually realistically be able to stand. And I was just like, I think you got to throw realism out the window when it looks that stupid. just get it out of there. Come on, man. It's Godzilla feet. Let's go.
Oh God! All right, Butch, you up next. Go for it.
Okay, I think it was a great start to the MonsterVerse, and what I didn't like was basically Bryan Cranston dying too early. I think what could have been done was, since the tragedy of the Muto destroying that plant and killing the wife, and basically what I think what could have happened was, since it kind of severed the relationship between him and his son, I think it could have been if they kept him alive, maybe somehow it would have rebuilt their relationship, and they could have been obviously the movie would have been more interesting with Bryan Cranston's character alive, because once he died, it just kind of fell flat for me, the storyline a little bit with the human characters. But also I didn't like how the takeaways, how we had all this build up in Hawaii, and then right when the airport, when you finally see Godzilla and you're thinking, all right, we're gonna get a really awesome fight, no, just cuts away the little kid watching it, and then they don't even show it. I'm over there in the theater that's it, literally that was it. I was like and then later they did it again too, with the with the doors closing, and you see Godzilla fighting, biting them and stuff. Also, the doors close. Same thing. I'm just like, are they even gonna fight in this movie? That's what I thought. When I first. But I guess those are some of the things I didn't care for the movie. Good things. I loved his design. I love his 2019 design better, but this was a great design for the start. And I love how, in a way, they made him, I guess, more realistic. Like if it was a real Godzilla in our world, and they made him different, where he kind of reminds me of a bear Godzilla. And I love how his skin resembles a crocodile. And the Mutos, I like the Mutos. I know a lot of people don't care for them, but I like them. Kind of an original, cool design. And what I like about this movie, besides like Godzilla using his breath for the first time in this movie, which was really cool, to build up the and then just firing it and stuff. And then I like how he killed the Mutos, and I thought they were unique kills. And I don't know if
Yeah.
he ever killed. I don't remember if he's killed anyone with his tail. Now that I think about it, but I don't know. But I think this like could be the first time he's killed an opponent with his tail when he whacked the male Muto into the building. I thought, yeah, you know. And then obviously the kill with the female Muto, that was just brutal. That just came out of nowhere. I thought like he was just gonna. I thought when I first saw that, I thought he was just gonna pull a King Kong and just like break her jaw. But then all of a sudden, just the kiss of death. I was like, dang, you know.
Shao Kahn came out and was like, finish her. Fatality. I mean, that's basically what that was.
Fatality, yep. But yeah, I guess that's my overall thoughts of like what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie. Great start for the MonsterVerse. 2019 did way better, I think. And as far my favorite collectible, I do own both 30 centimeter X Plus figures. The original Rick with the male Muto, and then the other one with the blue fins roaring with the female Muto head. I have to prefer. I like that one the better. The one with the blue fins, the roaring, the female Muto head. That's probably my favorite collectible from this movie.
All right. My overall thoughts. I enjoy this film. I like it. I don't love it. It was I mean, we all can agree it's way better than 98. I mean, but that's like a comparison. It's like comparing Olive Garden to Hardee's. So you can't really make that comparison. First, let me say, David Dopko, everybody in the chat right now, thank you for showing up. Jeremy Souls, hey, we representing you right here. Jeremy Souls, hope you're doing well out there in Colorado. But yeah, I enjoyed 2014. It was really super exciting going to the movie theater to see it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a fun movie. Great start to the MonsterVerse. Now, I knew going in that Godzilla was not going to be in it a lot. So I went into it with the whole Jaws thing, you know, like, because in Jaws, you know, even though the movie's about a giant shark, you don't really see much of the shark in the film. So I kind of knew that going in with Godzilla. That it didn't bother me. Seeing it as a complaint from a lot of folks saying, oh, this is the first film where they say Godzilla is taking top billing, but we don't get much of Godzilla. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, have you not seen Terror of Mechagodzilla? Have you not seen Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah? Have you not seen Godzilla vs. Sea Monster? Even though those are fun films, what's the one thing those films got in common? Godzilla is not in it a lot, but it still makes for a great Godzilla film. But I enjoy the Mutos. They're okay for like monsters or whatever. I thought it was a fun ride. My only issue with the film is that the trailers made you think you would get this, that you were going to see another film. And then when you see the film, you was like, oh, because with the trailers, even though you knew there was something else kaiju-wise in the film besides Godzilla, that trailer where they show with the doors closing, but you see not Godzilla and the Mutos fighting like you do in the final cut of the film, but they shut the doors and you see Godzilla roaring, and it's like they position Godzilla as the villain from the for the film. And quite frankly, that's my favorite incarnation of Godzilla, as the evil, hateful villain. So I was really psyched to see that. But then once you see the movie, it's like, oh well, I guess he's the 70s Godzilla, where he appears out of nowhere to fight other monsters. So even though I was mildly disappointed with that, it still didn't take away from the overall enjoyment of the film. Even though I have to admit, the teasers kind of got to me, you know, especially in the beginning where, you know, you see, you know, the in the very beginning, and they come across that skeleton and you probably think it's Godzilla. Then you see it, you know, a trail going towards the ocean, and then they show Japan. You're like, oh, we're going to see Godzilla. Then it's like, no, you don't. And then some time happens and they go to the nuclear plant, and you know something's causing some ruckus there. It's like, oh, you're going to see Godzilla? No, not really. And then when you finally see him, and then like what Butch and everybody else said, they cut away, and you have to see it on TV. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, I get it, but I feel like this: as long as the payoff is good, those teases don't really matter, even though they were annoying. So as long as you give me a great payoff, and between him fighting the two middles in the end, I thought it was a great payoff. And once again, Godzilla does not have to be in every single film for it to be a great Godzilla film. I tend to look at it when Godzilla is not around too much. It makes it more impactful and special when he does appear. So I don't mind films like that, you know. But that's my overall thoughts of Godzilla 2014. Now we're going to the year 2017. And of course, in between that time, you know, since 2014 was a success, they announced that they not only got the rights to Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah for a future legendary MonsterVerse Godzilla film, they also got the rights to King Kong, which will basically put them on a collision course, a rematch between King Kong and Godzilla, hopefully coming out this year, if not next year. And we finally got that news, so they decided to bring forth this film to really bridge the gap between 2014 and 2019. Of course, I'm talking about Kong Skull Island. Yes. I love this film. AJ, go for it. And what's your favorite collectible from the film?
All right. I don't have any favorite ones, but if I did, it'd be that big sarcophagus just put on his webcam, because that is absurd. I've actually been wanting to get that. I don't think it's come out yet. The Kong and the Skull Crawler together. That's not officially out yet, right?
No, not yet.
Yeah,
not yet.
When that does come out, that will be my favorite. But as of now, I actually don't own any collectible from that movie. Why I love that movie and think it's, in my opinion, the best out of the MonsterVerse so far is it just feels the most complete. It gets straight to the point, and it has daytime kaiju fight scenes, which seems like some lost art, apparently, where if you get one, you're like, oh my God, they're fighting in the daytime? This is amazing. I feel it had the best cast of characters. Like, it just had that old school, like, again, I'm a big Predator fan. I don't know, it just had that old school, or Aliens. Just the cast was great. They all had nice chemistry together. Everyone was unique. And the Skull Crawlers were awesome. They were scary. I mean, they ripped people to shreds. It was nice. And then I'll probably get some hate for this, but the Kong I thought was incredible and might be the best Kong design they've ever had. Is that I don't know, that might get some hate, but I just loved it. So I just felt Skull Island was just an absolute complete movie. From the human cast was great and interesting. They had good chemistry together. You got Loki and Captain Marvel. And just the fight scenes were unbelievable. And then that one scene always stuck with me too. The one where John Goodman's character has the camera, and then it gets eaten, and it's still like flashing in the thing's stomach.
Yeah,
I love that scene. That scene's awesome. Yeah, it just had a lot of unique stuff to it. Yeah, that's why that one is my personal favorite as a overall movie. But yeah, that's it. I don't really have many dislikes of the film. I don't really have many, if any. None that I can think of. I'm sorry.
Matt, next, go for it, dude.
My favorite is the Star Ace Kong. This is deluxe version with the base and the helicopter. And no hate from me, AJ. I think you're absolutely hit on the mark. It's my favorite design for Kong as well. And I love everything about Kong Skull Island. There's very little that I disliked about it as well. I enjoy the human characters. I love the opening where you see the two soldiers fighting, and then Kong just comes in, just puts a stop to that. Samuel L. Jackson's a cool character. I enjoyed his kind of Ahab want of like to slay the white whale kind of thing they were going for with that. The human guy, I enjoyed Tom Hiddleston's character. When I first heard about this movie, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have Loki looking to fight Kong, but it's like he's clearly something different in the film. I really enjoyed that. Brie Larson was fine. John Goodman, I was not expecting to see him die. I thought he'd be like the one to go back and tell the tale, but he didn't. His assistants did. And it's funny when we talk about the next movie, you know, they play a part. My favorite scene in the movie is when, you know, the big Ramarak, Phil, that's what it's called?
Yes, Ramarak. Yes.
Chasing after all the soldiers. All of a sudden, Kong comes flying from off screen with a giant boulder and slams it into his face. You know, that always sticks in my mind when he rips the insides of Ramarak out as well. I just loved Kong Skull Island. Excellent film. Is it the best Kong movie overall? That's debatable. I really enjoy the other Kong films as well, but it's awesome. That's like a solid A+, almost perfect film for me. I enjoyed it. Love the music. Awesome.
That's actually going to be a question in the rapid fire list I got. Like, where does Kong Skull Island rank in your favorite King Kong rankings of films? So be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
William, go for it.
So I think Kong Skull Island is probably the best put together film in the MonsterVerse. Not my overall favorite, but I think it has that perfect balance of kaiju action and human character. I think all the characters are well done. This also feels like the most well-realized Toho King Kong film. I think this is what they were trying to do when they had the rights to the character. I love some of the throwbacks, like with him fighting the giant squid. You know, I think Skull Island kind of actually feels like a real place. You know, everything is truly amazing, and it just feels from that kind of Toho kind of filmmaking way, and I love that. My one kind of complaint is that I do kind of wish the island was a little bit more like the original Skull Island from 1933, with some dinosaurs thrown in there. I understand why they probably didn't want to go with that, but I thought it would kind of be cool to kind of see that. All the other monsters or kaiju in that film are pretty cool overall. Obviously, the skull crawlers kind of stand out the most. You know, I think they are probably even better than the Mutos as far as just an enemy to fight. They just look so cool. Let's see. Yeah, I just think that it's such a well done film, and I totally understand why it's a lot of people's favorites. And I love the little teaser at the end. You know, it's not much, but it gives you just so much excitement for what's coming up. So
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Hear that roar, you just jump out of your seat like, let's go!
Yeah.
It's time!
Yeah. So now I actually don't have a collectible for this film. It's the one area that I kind of feel that this film actually kind of lacks, is that there really isn't anything too exciting out for it right now. You know, I like Phil's Kong, like the gory one. I think that's really cool. But overall, like Star Ace and X Plus haven't released anything just yet that I have been like, oh wow, like I really need that in the collection. Like the standing one is cool, but it's just not, doesn't stick out. It kind of unfortunately goes like kind of falls back into the crowd. So I think when the new one with the 2-pack with the skull crawler, that I'm excited for that. I think that might be the one that I pick up. But everything else so far don't really have anything too exciting about it, as collectible goes anyway.
I can highly suggest and recommend this. Well, I think every Kong piece from Skull Island the S Plus has ever done has been awesome. Even the Defo Reel, the multiple Defo Reels that they've done of him by himself, him fighting the skull crawler, or him being wrapped up with the squid. Man, even the one that just came out, the 2.0, God Almighty, it's probably my favorite one out of all of them. But yeah, if you're liking that one, Phil, you know, the one that's I think the one that we just got is going to be the same type of skull. It's going to be paired with the skull crawler. So if you're thinking about getting it, go for it, because that thing is awesome. I highly recommend this one too with the base. And it's not really too expensive, like 150, 170 bucks for a quality Kong piece. And quite frankly, Kong is a character that they're not really making a whole bunch of figures out of, quite frankly. Of course, they got the license, but I think once he's gone, he's going to be gone. So if you're looking to get one, at least get the new one, or like you said, you plan on getting the new one with the Skullcrawler fighter pack. Please get one. It is well worth the investment. Phil, I know how you feel about Kong, so go for it, dude.
Yeah, this is my favorite movie in the MonsterVerse, clearly. It's just, I'm a Kong guy. Kong 33, best movie ever made, for my 2 cents. Greatest adventure movie, the whole thing is perfect. I do agree with William on that point about the dinosaurs. It would have been cool to see a dinosaur. But these things right here, wicked. They scare the bejesus out of me. They're openly eating people, just without prejudice, eating people. Like when it clamped down on John Goodman, I jumped because that's why these things scare the living crap out of me. The Skullcrawler, they scare me. I love that. This is my favorite original design kaiju in the MonsterVerse to date, the Skullcrawler. As far as the movie goes, this Kong reminds me of 76 because he's an upright. He's not a knuckle walker at all. He walks upright the whole time, and that's why I really like this Kong, because I love 76 too. The cast, great. I think it's the best cast of the MonsterVerse yet. I love the cast in the film. Well done. John C. Reilly brought some comedy to it. That was cool. I like that. But the way the movie was laid out, good fights, great kaiju fights in it. The way he destroys Ramarek in the end, very violent, very vicious, but it had to be done. And I think Kong's very benevolent. I don't think he wanted to kill Ramarek, but he left him no choice. I don't think Kong's demeanor in the movie is not where he's evil in any way or nothing. He's just doing his thing. But I love the movie. I love this design of this Kong. Godzilla, watch it. You see this? It's coming. I'm just saying. But I love the film. I love the cast. I love the layout. I love the way the pacing of the film is. It's a great film. Jordan Bogue Roberts did good. They even had a little mythology of Kong there. I like that the beginning was set in the 40s. To me, that was paying a homage to the 33 a little bit, slightly, just by going old school like that. So, and the whole Vietnam vibe of the film, that's kind of cool, kind of groovy in a way. Nice soundtrack, 70s music in there. I love the movie. Great movie. Highly recommend that movie. My favorite collectible, you would think it's this. It is this tied with this big dude.
Oh my God, Phil.
2 foot tall, 24 inches. Great figure for Mark Singh.
That's
awesome.
I love how he's in a come at me, bro pose.
Remember when he fought the helicopter? When he fought the helicopters and he swung around and he roared? That's what that's kind of supposed to be.
Kelly,
man.
All right, Abby.
I'm done rambling with it, Leslie.
man, Philip, that Kong is so big. You probably should charge him rent. Quite frankly,
he's 2 feet tall.
Yeah, so charge his behind rent from now on.
I told Mark we're going big on that one. So,
I mean, yeah, but he made you a Chucky. That's what he did. So,
and then after I got him, I said, well, I need his partner in crime. So I said, let's do Ramarek. So
yeah, like I said, he made you a hairy Chucky. That's all they did. All right, Butch, you up next. Go for it.
Okay, don't really have a lot of bad things to say about this movie because overall, I really do enjoy this movie a lot. It's a really good King Kong film. I agree where I kind of wanted to see the dinosaurs in this movie, but what we got was kind of way better because we saw these weird creatures, water buffalo. We saw an octopus. We saw this giant spider. these ugly birds. The skull crawlers, I think were way better than the Mutos, design wise. And let's see. I think my favorite scene from this movie is probably the fight with Kong and Ramarak. And I do love the human cast way better in this movie than compared to the 2014 Godzilla film. The best two characters, John C. Reilly, he was hilarious. He brought humor to this movie. I loved everything he said. And then second best character was probably Samuel L. Jackson. I just loved how he was hell bent on trying to kill Kong. You know, he was doing it for what he believed was the right thing to do because Kong killed his men, but it was overall a bad thing to do because Kong was basically the good guy just protecting his home, and the skull crawlers were the evil creatures, you know, so he was trying to, like, in a way, keeping balance and stuff. And yeah, just a lot of good things about this movie. And I guess my favorite collectible would probably be the Star Ace Kong holding the helicopter. I don't have the new one yet because it got pushed back, so I don't know what that looks like in person. But from pictures, it looks great. And from what you told me, Leslie, I think I'm in for a treat once I do get it. You know, can't wait to see it. You know, just him holding was it the ship propeller or something?
Yeah, the boat propeller. Yeah.
What was that? Like an anchor? Oh, propeller, I think. And then
and it's got a chain hanging off of it.
Yeah, and then just like the mouth. Then just the mouth, you know, opened up and stuff. I just thought that's kind of a better pose, you know, than I do like the normal standing one, but I think this one just looks a little better to me.
Yeah, I feel like the first one captures his demeanor of the movie a lot, but the second one, the roaring one, that's what everyone wanted to begin with. So,
I think the second one is really more intimidating because he is like with his mouth open, and trust me, Phil, once you get it in person, he stands taller. I don't know if you saw my pictures on Facebook. He does stand taller, and he's really kind of a little bit more bulky upper body wise. He kind of looks like a Brock Lesnar version of King Kong, and that right there is scary, at least in this pose. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, both capture the monster in certain points in the film perfectly, in my opinion. Of course, Phillip says the first one. I say the second one. You can't go wrong with either one, in my opinion. So, but with that being said, let me go to my thoughts of Kong Skull Island. I love this film, not because I'm pulling for Kong in the showdown, but to me, it's just between the three MonsterVerse films, it's the one that I've seen the most. It's one of those films, it's the film, the MonsterVerse, where it's the perfect mix of a film. 2014, you got that slow burn, you know what I'm saying, where a lot of stuff happens with the human characters, and then you get to the final act of the film. That's when they want to throw all the kaiju action all in one bundle. King of the Monsters, there's always something going on. It's a fast-paced movie. You don't have time to sit down and relax and think about everything. It's just a fast-paced movie. It's great that it does that, quite frankly, because it keeps you on the edge of your seat. It keeps you on your toes. Kong Skull Island has the mixture of both, where it has like great moments. It starts off real great, then it has some downtime. Then it starts off great again, then it has some downtime. So it offers like a great mixture of both between both Godzilla films, in my opinion, which makes for a better movie-going experience. And if I want to watch a movie from the MonsterVerse, more likely I'll pop in Skull Island before I pop in the other ones. Not because I like this one more, which I kind of do, but sometimes I may not be in the mood to watch a slow burn movie like 2014, or I may not feel like dealing with the fast-paced movie setup of 2019. But Kong offers that right mixture. As a film, I enjoy it. I love Kong. I have to be honest here. I'm not a big fan of the skull crawlers. I just can't get into them, which is why more likely I will not get the battle pack when it comes out. I'm just not a big fan of the skull crawlers. And I think one of the reasons why they didn't do dinosaurs in the film, mind you, this is a universe where it's about titans, not kaiju, but titans. And in a world where you have a giant gorilla, a giant fire-breathing dinosaur, a giant three-headed space dragon, to have a dinosaur run around is like, why are you even here? You see what I'm saying? So I can understand why they didn't do the dinosaur thing in the world that they set up. But what they have done for like, you know, making this movie a time period piece from the 70s, which is something I hope we see in other Godzilla films from the future, mainly Toho. I wish Toho, when they start doing Godzilla films again, I wish they would do like a time period piece like from the 60s or from the 70s, provided if they have a lot of money invested into it. But Kong Skull Island proved you can do a time period piece from the 70s and make it great. And I hope we see more films like that in the future. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, such a great movie. My favorite collectible is it's kind of hard because I love this one as well as the new one, even the Death for Real. But I have to say the new one that just came out where he's like roaring and he's like doing the lean with it, rock with it pose. I actually like that one better. So that's my favorite collectible from this awesome movie of Kong Skull Island. Now, just want to give y'all a little heads up. Of course, you know, we got like an hour and some change before we get up out of here. And we got like one more movie to talk about. And when it comes to Godzilla vs. Kong, one thing I'm going to ask versus like going into like really in-depth detail, what I'm going to ask, like, what is the one thing you want to see from Godzilla vs. Kong? And then after that, we'll go into the rapid fire discussions. And then we'll talk about what my fellow co-hosts got coming on their individual channels. And we'll do out some closing words, and then we'll be out of here. So now we're going to the year of 2019. Yes, we're talking about the sequel to 2014. Yes, Godzilla comes back, but he's not alone. He's got three of his most famous co-stars in the entire tokusatsu genre with Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. Of course, we were talking about 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters. Of course, AJ, you know how it goes down. Go for it with your thoughts, with your favorite collectible. Go for it. The floor is yours.
All right, favorite collectible. I'm not going to bring him up front, but you can see him behind me, the gigantic Rick Plus. One of my biggest disappointments with the Godzilla design is he has no contrast. He's just gray. So whenever they make the figures with the fins lighting up to give him that extra little pop, and especially the gigantic, where he's got it like, you know, basically in his gills and on his leg, it really makes him pop. As for the movie, I really enjoy the movie, but I acknowledge it's a bad movie. And that might make people upset, but the human characters are probably the weakest out of the three, in my opinion. Mainly because it's such an amazing cast, and they don't have anything to do but just give you, like, they just spoon feed you everything that's about to happen, and you're just like, all right, cool. But you know, the monsters, they absolutely nailed. I mean, the new little tweaks to Godzilla's design was perfect. Giving him like the 54 fins is like still that scene with him and Serizawa, you know, to the Goodbye Old Friend soundtrack is just probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I love Mothra's design. I love that they gave her a stinger. That they, you know, we finally saw a Mothra Rodan battle, you know, in air, which was pretty sweet. Rodan, in my opinion, is probably the best done out of the four. Not saying King Ghidorah wasn't incredible, but just the impact that Rodan had in terms of like all devastation when he appeared and destroyed. King Ghidorah didn't really get any of that. You know, he's a monster that apparently brings a tsunami hurricane with him, and we didn't actually see any of that really happen. I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity. One scene that I'll never be able to get out of my head because it just bothers me so much. So they have the orca. They're at Fenway, and you know they chuck it into the middle of the stadium, and King Ghidorah literally lands on it.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
From the sky, and they like just pick it up and like, yeah, just like attach this wire, no big deal, it works. It's like, dude, how is this raining? Like, I was like, where? Like, how does that pass any film testing? Everyone's like, hey, maybe don't throw the orca in the middle because that just seems silly. But And then another thing that I disliked, and it kind of is the same complaint that a lot of people had with the first movie, was they seem to always want to really give you the human perspective with these monster fights. And for me, I just don't care. Like, there's that one shot where we're finally, like, this is like, you know, the final battle where all the monsters are there, they're fighting, and you got that big open angle shot of like Godzilla and King Ghidorah when they finally like collide. And then you get the big spaceship flies right in front of your view, and then they go back into the space. It's like, I don't want to see that. I want to see monsters fight. So they kept kind of doing that, which bothered me a lot. Again, it probably sounds like I hate the movie. I don't hate the movie. I actually really enjoy it. I just think it's kind of a jumbled mess where the director really wanted to give us like a 3-hour monster movie, and the studio was like, no. So he kind of gave us like a super cut of all the stuff that we would like, which, I mean, he was pretty right on. But yeah, I would say, in my opinion, it is the weakest out of all of them, which I think I'm going to be the minority in this forum. But I enjoyed it, and the soundtrack is unbelievable. I mean, the soundtrack, and then the fact that they gave him like 4 or 5 different Godzilla roars throughout the Showa era really stood out to me. But all right, I prepare to get trashed for the rest of this segment. So, we can kick it off to Matt.
The comments made by Aj Russo do not reflect. I'm just joking, man. You know what? All kidding aside, actually, I enjoy that. Quite frankly, AJ, don't ever feel ashamed to say how you really feel when it comes to this show. Because I know when it comes to these movies, our fan base can take things a little bit personally. I mean, but for example, when we did the Heisei discussion, Phil came out and said, "Look, I don't like Biollante. Like, I know a lot of people like it, but I'm just not really into it. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not hating on those who do get it, but I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
It's because nothing happens in that movie. I'm with you.
I don't have to leave this live stream. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to. I gotta go.
They roar at each other a couple times, and the movie ends. That's pretty much how that movie plays out.
I mean, and Godzilla falls drunk on his face at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, in there, people have like vendors and have done the same thing.
and William, by the same token, he was like, Godzilla's the King Ghidorah is like, I have to find reasons to like it or enjoy it. Like he does enjoy it, but he's not on board with a lot of people that say, oh, it's the greatest Godzilla film because it has Godzilla and King Ghidorah fight one-on-one. Even he was like, I'm sorry, that time travel thing just takes me out of it. My point is that don't be afraid to come on here and say how you really feel. I enjoy that. I embrace that. You know what I'm saying? And actually, it's kind of refreshing because I actually expect it from everybody here. I mean, I know how Matt's going to feel because this is his favorite Godzilla film, but I kind of figured that everybody here was going to like say nothing but great things about it. And it's nice to see somebody come out with some criticisms or some things that a lot of people may like, but you just don't get. And that's a good thing. That's actually a great thing in my opinion. So don't feel bad. I actually enjoy that.
It's a good way to sugarcoat it. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, it's just I don't know why Godzilla fans just, when you talk about like a beloved Godzilla film or one that's enjoyed by the masses, if you say you don't like it, not like the whole situation, like if somebody says that like Shin Godzilla more than 2014, you automatically get hated on by the American Godzilla fans. It's just that manufactured beef crap garbage is stupid. If you don't like Shin Godzilla, fine. If you don't like 2014 Godzilla, that's fine. If you don't like 2019, that's fine. If you don't like Mothra vs. Godzilla, you need your head examined. But aside from that, my point is that my point is that don't feel afraid or don't feel bad about saying how you really feel, because we embrace that here.
If you
So with that being said,
if you ever want me to go on a rant, just mention Godzilla 2000. That's all you need. You want to,
I
but
think
we'll save that for another
before.
time. We'll save that for another time.
Yeah, I think we had a conversation before. So basically, whenever I do start the Millennium series, you'll be the first I call. All right, Matt, go for it. You're up next. Go for it.
Real quick, everything Leslie said, that's what I feel as well. You enjoy what you enjoy, you dislike what you dislike. It's perfectly fine. Now, for Godzilla King of the Monsters, I love that film. I have it on digital. I have it on Blu-ray. I saw it in theaters multiple times. Loved it. So all the things that, well, first off, my favorite collectible is the gigantic 2019. It got the standard. As far as my favorite scenes in the film, well, the human characters were kind of dumb. I agree. Kind of see how they kind of deal with what happened after the first initial attack in 2014. Trying to see them pull their life back together. You know, it was interesting, but not completely that well done. I agree with that. But as far as the kaiju, Titans, where you kind of see Godzilla at first and underwater, and it's interesting. You see all the other Titans, and then when King Ghidorah finally wakes up, and they play the new music for it, it's like the mouth of hell is opening, and like pretty much the devil is coming out. It was just awesome. And then seeing, just the way how he's reacting, just awesome. All of a sudden, you hear a little beep. Here comes Godzilla. The ground is glowing blue. Out he comes, and they're playing his original theme song from remade by Barry McCreary. Just awesome. When they fight, awesome. Just everything felt like it was focused on the Titans, like especially Godzilla, where in 2014 he was kind of an afterthought. And I will fight that, opinion till the end. Godzilla felt like an afterthought in that movie, where here he's front and center. And plus the other Titans, where the human characters, they're kind of just noise. Like, oh, okay, yeah, they're doing something. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Where the Titans were actually the more interesting part. The scene where Godzilla, tackles Ghidorah and they fight underwater. I love that scene, and I still remember, seeing Ghidorah fight Rodan. It's like, what is he thinking? And you see, they're actually led into each other rather than them picking a fight with each other. So awesome stuff. And then the Oxygen Destroyer, I felt was a little odd. However, I had a theory about that film, which kind of got shot in the foot now. Was that at the end of the film, Godzilla, he bites the head off one of the Ghidorah heads. And then that was underwater when the Oxygen Destroyer went off. I thought that was kind of a way for them to make Destroya for the next film, but that obviously isn't happening. I don't want to go into spoilers, but, I always thought that would be a great idea. And when they actually fought in Boston and Godzilla's, pulsating like he's burning, it was awesome. The idea they had with Mothra and Godzilla in it, not really being boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, more like interesting. When Mothra fought with Rodan, so it was a Godzilla movie, but also wasn't a Godzilla film as well. When they fought each other, and then Rodan gets beaten by Mothra, just everything about it was awesome. And then Godzilla obliterates Ghidorah in the end. Loved it, beginning to end. Loved it. I love, in the credits they actually show what Titans are actually doing to the planet Earth. Fixing things just by them being there. Kind of making what's her name in the film actually kind of right in a way, maybe. And then the final cave painting showing Godzilla about to fight Kong, just loved it. Awesome film. And I'm done.
And your favorite collectible, what you say, is the gigantic, right?
Yeah, gigantic 2019.
All right, William, you up next. Go for it.
All right, so my favorite collectible, I'm going to get this right out of the way. It's one of the new ones, is the Defo Real Rick for Rodan. I love this thing. This thing is perfect in every way. This is why I wanted the Defo Real line for my MonsterVerse figures. I think for the most part, I've been pretty lucky, minus one big one, which we won't talk about here.
Actually, we will. More on that later, but go for it.
God, dream. Jeez.
where to start with this movie? I mean, first off, this is the most enjoyable film in the series for me. I as a Godzilla fan, I love this film. The trailers were right off the bat. All of them are amazing. From the music that they pick, the scenes that they use, editing, everything is just it's amazing. And so my hype level going into this film was like 11 out of 10 at this when I finally sat down and watched it. And there are some really good things in this film. I love the fact that, you know, in the beginning you do see a lot of kind of what happened after 2014. You know, so many Godzilla films, you know, the next one starts up and it's like, here's Tokyo again, and no one's talking about the last time Godzilla or another kaiju came in and just wrecked it. So the news and everything like that, it felt believable. And I think that's one of the best things about this film. As crazy as it is and over the top, it still somewhat felt grounded in ways, just by the way people reacted to things. You know, I kind of felt like the governments would be looking into the Titans more and trying to figure out what to do with them. You know, the kaiju themselves are all great. I think Ghidorah has a perfect look. I think they kind of took all different bits and pieces from different designs from King Ghidorah and kind of put it all into one. I definitely like it. I love the fact that he has a personality. You know, the problem with a lot of the Ghidorahs in the Toho films is that he's always controlled by somebody. So you don't really get any kind of personality except for the first one. So the fact that they did that, love it. All the redesigns with Godzilla, you know, perfectly done. I think Godzilla is another great character in this film. You know, all the Titans really feel like characters because they all have distinct personalities. Rodan is basically Starscream. That's the best way to describe him. You know, he's
Very true.
He just fits that mold perfectly. You know, so I really do like it. The music is probably the best part of the film. It's crazy to say this, but I would put it up there with probably one of the best soundtracks, probably a top 5 soundtrack for the whole entire Godzilla series. It just has a perfect updating of classic themes and also creating new themes for the other kaiju. But there are definitely issues. I mean, I think everyone kind of would agree with this. I think the human characters are definitely the weakest part of it. I wish that they were a little bit stronger, kind of like how Skull Island was. You know, I think Skull Island had a perfect mix. I think all the characters were really interesting, and they all kind of had a purpose. The Oxygen Destroyer, I wasn't that big of a fan of because there was no buildup. They were just like, oh, by the way, here's an Oxygen Destroyer. And all of us probably were like, oh my God, but there's no buildup. You don't know really anything it does. All they say is like, well, with any luck, this will kill both of them. And that's it. That
Okay,
is
terrific.
yeah. You don't know what it does. You don't know anything about it. Other than, you know, like if you're a fan, you kind of have an idea. There are some shots in this film that are beautiful. You know, like if you look at Ghidorah, you know, on top of the volcano and everything like that, those shots, those are truly amazing. And it goes back to like what I said about Kong. This feels like what Toho had always planned. When they were talking about Ghidorah, the three-headed space monster, this is what they probably had in mind. And I think that's the best part about these films is that we have the technology to do what we always wanted to see, and I'm sure Toho's thinking the same thing. So we finally got it, and I think it works really well. And I think this is a film that, as time goes on, I think fans are going to kind of warm up to more. I know it is very popular in the fandom, but I think more people are going to kind of like it more and more. It's a perfect film. I took my little brother and sister to it. They had a blast watching it. They were never bored. You know, it's great in a lot of different ways.
All right. Phillip, you're up next. Go for it.
It's a great film. It's a roller coaster ride for me from the beginning to the end. They listened to the fans from 14. Godzilla wasn't in it enough, and why did it take an hour to see Godzilla? They covered all those bases. The soundtrack is very excellent. Very, very, very excellent. I think it's very well done. Probably the best soundtrack of the whole MonsterVerse so far. Of course, Godzilla's design, well done, great upgrade. But of the other three Toho monsters, I feel they nailed Mothra, in my opinion. They nailed, I don't know why, they just nailed Mothra. I like what they did with Mothra. I think Rodan was poorly used and underappreciated in that film. I just feel they could have done more with Rodan than what they did. Ghidorah is an absolute menace. The worst beating he's ever given to Godzilla, if you think of all the movies, that movie, he had Godzilla beat. Mm-hmm. I mean, does Godzilla win that fight without Mothra doing what she did? I mean, who knows, honestly, in my opinion.
I don't think so.
Yeah, King Ghidorah is a menace in that film. A menace. And that's a good thing, though, because that's what we needed to see. And what he brought out of Godzilla in the end, with the help of Mothra, it was pretty awesome. But the weakest point of the film is the human characters. I agree. They're the worst part. I like how they hint at other, like Kong in it and stuff. They're building that, that whole MonsterVerse. The whole MonsterVerse, they've really built it up well, I think. Very, very well. But the movie is great. The soundtrack is really, really good. I like the movie. It harkens back to a lot of old Godzilla movies. And I think Doherty said he was making a movie for the Godzilla fans, and that's what he did when he did it. He made a movie for the fans, all the little Easter eggs, the moth, the fairies, the twins. It's just so many Easter eggs in it, and if you catch them, and it's just great. And they've gotten less serious, which I don't know if that's good or bad. That's not for me to say, but the movie is a roller coaster ride, in my opinion, from the beginning until the end. And it is cool how, like Matt said in the credits, where they're showing that the kaiju are doing good things for the planet. It's pretty cool. But I do enjoy the movie a lot. So.
And your favorite collectible?
I'm with William on that. The D4 Rodan. The gigantic, mine's a tail fail. It is a tail fail. So
yeah, mine's weird too. The actual like gray base doesn't even, I don't even need it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, mine's got a big split up there where it connects now in the vinyl.
No, he's that upset about it. He decided to leave.
Oh man.
Yeah, it froze up on him. Or maybe he's upset because during this review, his tail whacked him in the head. I remember that.
Oh boy.
Hey, Phil, you there? You there, Phil? Phil? Phil, we can't really hear you, my man. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, now we can. All right, go for it. Now, go for it.
Okay, what did you miss the whole thing?
Partly, just the tail end of that.
Okay.
No
Nice
pun
pun.
intended, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was a nice pun right there.
Well, I was saying that my favorite collectible was the D4 Rodan the Rick. They did a really good job on that thing. And the gigantic 19, it's just the tails on mine's an abomination. It's just been defective from the beginning. So.
All right, Butch, you up next. Go for it.
Okay. I regret not getting the gigantic Godzilla. I wanted the Rick version so bad, but I couldn't do it. Hopefully I get an opportunity later on down the road. But as far as like collectibles go, I got all the X Plus Deforios, the Rodan Rick, the King Ghidorah Rick. But I guess my favorite would probably have to be the Godzilla Rick. I like this one when it comes to X Plus. Because currently my only X Plus Godzilla 2019 I own. And I do collect other stuff other than X Plus. And I think NECA was killing it with these Godzilla King of the Monsters line. And like the Rodan coming out of the volcano, and then Mothra on the cocoon. But I have to say my favorite of all of them would probably have to. Yep, that one. Yep, that one. I thought that.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
The Target version. I was so excited when I finally found it in my Target, and yeah, I just love the way it looks, translucent, the red. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best Burning Godzilla 2019 figure that we currently have at the moment. And I will throw this in for fun. My least favorite Godzilla 2019 collectible for the money would probably be the Bandai Mothra. I do not like the way the paint scheme is on this figure. For the money, I think you should have got more bang for your buck. To me, this is like just the weakest of all of them. I love Bandai to death, but it's like, come on, Bandai.
Yeah, they didn't seem like they were trying much with the King of the Monster line.
No.
They're like, here you go.
But as far as the movie goes, I just love this movie. This is my second favorite Godzilla movie. And definitely my number one when it comes to the MONSTERVERSE. I do agree with everybody. It's got the weakest human cast. I think when it comes to the human characters, Kong Skull Island is the best one. But I love everything about this movie. Like I said before, I do love Godzilla's design way better in this one than I do in the 2014. King Ghidorah, I love his design. My favorite was always the 64. And my second favorite was always the Grand King Ghidorah from Rebirth of Mothra 3, but now this one is probably my second favorite when it comes to King Ghidorah designs. And I just, like I said, I love how they gave him a personality, each head. And Mothra, I love the way Mothra looks. Rodan, I love the way Rodan looks. And I think like probably one of my favorite scenes where Rodan was probably the volcano. I mean, him coming out of the volcano and then him fighting the Air Force. That kind of reminded me of the original Rodan 57. Dang it, I can't think right now. But yeah, that one, I just love how he was fighting the Air Force in that. It's kind of more like, just it reminded me of the fight, but just more, with CGI. And then I love that barrel roll he did. That was just amazing. And yeah, and then I love the fact that how King Ghidorah had his own weather, I guess. Everywhere he went, there was a storm. He had his own storm and stuff. Thought that was kind of cool, but it gave away the where you want a monster fight in the daytime, where every time King Ghidorah was there, it was always a nighttime scene. So that took away from that part. But let me think. Oh, I love the music. The music, especially when they brought in some of the old Godzilla music. I love how they brought back the Godzilla theme. They updated it for this movie. I love Mothra's theme, even though we didn't have the fairies singing. It was still, nice to hear, when she first started coming out of the cocoon and stuff. Really nice. And I also love basically every single scene where Godzilla and King Ghidorah fought. All three scenes, the build up from the Antarctica, and then the fight with the ocean before the Oxygen Destroyer came out of nowhere. I guess that'd be a bad thing I didn't care for was the Oxygen Destroyer. Like, it just came out of nowhere. There was no build-up. Just like, yeah, we're just going to throw it at him. And
yeah, we built this weapon. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll get him. But, it obviously it just got – and that's when I thought, like, oh, I wonder where this is going now, because is it going to kill Godzilla? Because obviously we know the Oxygen Destroyer killed Godzilla, but it didn't. Almost did, but it didn't. Oh, I did love how King Ghidorah was so different in this movie, where he grew his own head. Well, Kevin grew his head back, I guess. I thought that was kind of cool. And I love how how they made King Ghidorah crawl. Like, they made his wings more, they made him more dragon-like and stuff. Like, his wings didn't feel so stiff as they did in the older movies. That he could bend them and they can crawl like a four-legged creature almost. And I loved how his tails would rattle like rattlesnakes, like a threatening, thing like the animals would do, like they have something threatening, like a rattlesnake or something. Then like how Godzilla's fins kept glowing blue all the time for intimidation as well.
Yeah, they really brought all the characters to life.
Mm-hmm. More lifelike. Yeah, I just love how I don't know. I just love this movie to death. I can't really sing anything bad about it besides like the human cast. And I did like, even though the trailers did give it away, I just kind of wish they didn't show too many trailers, or at least Facebook kind of spoiled too much stuff. I wanted to see where it kind of made me mad, like, oh, we got Burning Godzilla, and everybody showed it off. I think the toy did it. The
Yeah.
The toy
And now,
packs did it.
and now we have that again with the new movie. Well,
Yeah.
I won't say.
Yeah.
Which we all don't want to look at, but we all click the link anyway because we're just like, I gotta see
Yeah,
it.
I was like, I want to.
I don't want to, but I gotta.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk spoilers, or are we keeping that, Leslie?
Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot.
Fair
I
game.
think a lot of people. I think a lot of people already know anyway. Especially if they follow us and they're friends with us, they probably know the same things that we know. So, but go ahead, Butch. Go ahead and finish up.
Okay. But I did like how Godzilla killed King Ghidorah. Again, it was like a unique kill compared to, when he used the tail on the male Muto, kiss of death on the female. He just came out. I was disappointed in Burning Godzilla only a little bit, where I was expecting him to shoot his atomic blast at King Ghidorah, but he just kind of kept exploding at him, and you hear Mothra's roar. That was kind of cool. But I wanted to see him shoot his atomic blast out, which would have been cool. Kind of like, how Burning Godzilla had that spiral atomic blast and destroyed her, but we never got to see it. But what we saw was cool, and I liked how King Ghidorah, I'm assuming that was the middle head. Yeah, I think that was the middle head that was left when he had him in his mouth, just flailing him around, and then just blasted him with the breath. And the ending was really good. I mean, I think it would have been more impactful with the ending if we got to see the Toho kaiju instead of the kaiju that they made up for the movie, like maybe Baragon or Anguirus, if they had them in there, like we saw them in the movie, and then at the end of the movie, if we got to see them bow to the new King Godzilla, that would have been kind of more impactful. But it was impactful for what it was, and I did like the Behemoth. I think that was the best design that they had for when it comes to original kaiju. I think that thing looked cool. And also another thing I love was how they brought back the Blue Oyster Cult song. I love that song, the original. I love how they brought that one back. Serge Tankian, he's okay, but I did like how they brought it back, up to date. I thought that was cool, and makes me wish like how they brought back some of the older music and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking forward to for Godzilla versus Kong. Bring back some of the older music, a whole bunch of it, especially the native song, And
if they don't bring back McCreary for Godzilla vs. Kong, I think that's going to be a big mistake.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then they talk about Rob Zombie or something. I was like, no.
That turned out to be.
No.
Yeah, I heard that turned out to be false.
I heard that too.
Yeah, we're okay there.
I guess, Butch, if you're done, I'll just go through my thoughts.
Yeah,
I'm gonna breeze through mine.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, you're fine. I'm gonna breeze through mine because I want to keep you all here for at least another 25 minutes, and then we can close the stream. I love Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's a fun film. To me, this is what Final Wars should have been, where Final Wars was boasted as the 50th anniversary of Godzilla films, and that was a train wreck in and of itself. This film, in my opinion, honors the past films and does right by the Godzilla fans more so than Godzilla Final Wars. That's what I'm saying. I just love this film. I love the Easter eggs. I love the reference. Once again, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, that's why I love the MONSTERVERSE, because you have these filmmakers that embrace the mythology, that incorporate the mythology, that honors it and acknowledges it and knows that these things is what made these characters great, and they incorporate into the films. I love Godzilla King of the Monsters from beginning to end, even during its run. And that's the thing. What a lot of people understand, and they know that this film was made for Godzilla fans. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like Shin Godzilla was made for the Japanese fans, right? Why can't we have our movie? That's my argument with that. You see what I'm saying? So I love Godzilla King of the Monsters. Even when it was going through its run and it didn't make as much money as a lot of people thought it would be, I didn't really care, because from beginning to the end, what matters to me, if a film is good and if it's entertaining, if it's a movie that I'm going to go back to, a lot of times over and over and over again. This film does that for me. And here's another thing as far as like regarding how much a movie is supposed to make regarding if it's going to be good or not. The lowest grossing movie, to my knowledge, in the Godzilla franchise is Terror of Mechagodzilla. Would you consider Terror of Mechagodzilla a bad movie because of that? In my opinion, Terror of Mechagodzilla is not a bad movie. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day how much a movie makes or doesn't make. It's about whether the film is enjoyable. And to me, Godzilla King of Monsters from beginning to end is enjoyable. Like I said, it's a nonstop ride where a lot of stuff is happening over and over and over and over again. And that's fine. I enjoy it. There's only two things I didn't really care for when it came to this movie. One, Rodan. I love his design. I love his appearance when he bursts out of the mountain and the volcano and he's chasing the Argo, like, you know, like what Butch said, which is akin to what happened in the 56 film. And, you know, they're on the collision course. They're trying to drive Rodan to King Ghidorah. I love that. But after that, I just felt like what Phil said earlier. He was really underappreciated. In my opinion, yes, I understand that Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and to an extension Kong are considered like the alphas when it comes to the Titans. But I'm sorry, Rodan should not be bowing his head to anybody, even in the old films.
That was one thing that bothered me too.
Right. Even in the old films, even when you see Godzilla and Rodan team up with each other, you know they don't like each other, but they'll, you know, it's like that co-worker at work that you have that you can't really stand, but you know you have to work with them to get the job done. That's Godzilla and Rodan, but I never got the sense in Ghidorah Threatened Monster and or Monster Zero that Godzilla was better than Rodan. Rodan was better than Godzilla. And I understand this is about Godzilla and King Ghidorah in their build, but I felt that Rodan should have been protected a little bit more than that. Like I said, he should not be doing this. He should not be doing that. I can understand if he was a hired gun on behalf of King Ghidorah, and you could still have that done with him flying around and him doing what King Ghidorah probably instructed him to do. That scene where he intercepts Mothra and Mothra comes in, that's a great scene. I love that. You know, you see Mothra flying in on another attack to King Ghidorah, but then in the background you see the sky firing up and it's Rodan and he swoops in and intercepts Mothra. That was a great scene. After that, I just felt like he was really underappreciated. And the other thing I didn't really like, I didn't care for, like y'all been saying, the family thing. I couldn't stand Emma Russell. I'm sorry. I wish Godzilla would have stomped on her and shoot her out and all that good stuff. I just felt like her motivation for doing what she did was kind of, it just didn't sit right. Now, what I think they should have done, they should have played, at least took a page out of Gamera 3. If she was like, hey, you know what? I want to kill Godzilla because Godzilla killed my son. Kind of what happened in Gamera 3. Then I would have been behind that. And because she's, you know, she works for Monarch. So she's really familiar and aware of what Titans are out there and which one could serve a challenge to really kill Godzilla. And she comes across King Ghidorah, Monster Zero. If they would have used that as a motivation why she does what she does, I've been on board with that. But her saying that, you know, wherever Titans go, life follows. Well, in the beginning, wherever Titan goes, cities get destroyed, people get killed, and cities burn to the ground. It's like this. I have a big yard at my house, right? And let's say I have a whole bunch of anthills that pop up in my house, all over my yard. But instead of me going down to the local Lowe's and get me one of those bags of chemicals where I can sprinkle onto the anthill or the anthill so it can kill themselves, I'm going to unleash a whole bunch of giant infected rats on my yard. Okay, they're going to kill the ants, but yeah, you still feel with a whole yard full of giant infected rats. So that's why I feel like her motivation of wanting to unleash the Titans just so they can bring balance and life to the world. So you will bring life to the world by having people die. I just didn't get behind that. But had they done, like I said, with her wanting to find a kaiju to kill the kaiju or Titan that killed her son, I would have been more on board with that. But aside from that, I think it's a great film. It's my favorite film from the MonsterVerse. And that's pretty much it with our thoughts of these three films. Now, before we go into the rapid fire questions, let's try and a little bit be brief with this. Just say just one thing about this particular topic, and then we'll go into the rapid fire questions. Name one thing you want to see from Godzilla vs. Kong. AJ, go.
One thing that I want to see from Godzilla vs. Kong. Mechanicon. The way again it. but that's what I'd like to see.
Matt, go for it.
A tough, clean fight between the two of them.
Ooh. Clean fight.
Well, okay, hold on. Let's back up. A tough fight between the two of them. Just them. No one else. It's not going to happen, but I want to see just them two go at it.
Yeah, I hope we get like a 15-minute fight, just straight up. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
William, go for it.
Actually, better human characters, to be honest. I'm not too worried about the monster fighting because I think that's going to be great. If anything we've learned from the past films, I just want better human characters and a good story.
Phil.
Kong win.
Oh,
Ah!
As the great Frank Lucas said in American Gangster, my man. All right, Butch, go for it.
The tree. Anything
The
like
tree
something?
feeding? The
Yeah,
tree
when
feeding?
Kong shoved the tree down Godzilla's throat. At least I know they're bigger now, so maybe like a ship or something. You know, just something
That'd be
reminiscent of that.
All right, what I want to see from Godzilla vs. Kong, I want to see just a great movie. That's all I want to see. I think we will get that. I wish Michael Dougherty would be doing this one because I don't know about Adam Wingard or Wingard, whatever his name is. I'm not really familiar with his work or what he has done. But if he can follow along what Michael Dougherty has built and create a great movie on top of that, that's what I'm really asking for. All right, rapid fire questions. We got 20 of them, so let's try and be as brief.
Right.
Let's try and be as brief as we can. Because, like I said, I want to finish this stream in the next like 15 minutes. Ready? Y'all ready?
All right.
And I guess you know what, people in the chat. If people in the chat, if you hear the question, you know you can definitely pop down your answer in the comment section and make it more interactive. Okay. Number one, what is your favorite? I think we kind of answered this question as we went along here, but say it again anyway. Number one, what is your favorite film from the MONSTERVERSE?
Kong Skull Island.
King of the Monsters.
Kong Skull Island.
Kong Skull Island.
King of the Monsters.
So wait a minute, it's 3 Kongs and 2 Godzillas. So where do I stand on this? I have to say it. I love Kong Skull Island, but I like King of the Monsters just a little bit more. So I'm going with King of the Monsters. All right. Which monster had the best revamp or updated design? Godzilla, King Kong, King Ghidorah, Rodan, or Mothra? We're talking about the designs of the film, not collectibles, whatever, but the design of the film. Which kaiju or titan had the best redesign?
I'd say Rodan.
Godzilla.
Rodan, definitely.
Mothra.
King Ghidorah.
Yeah, Butch. King Ghidorah. All right, here we go. Number 3. Which Godzilla entrance was the best? 2014 at the airport or 2019 coming out of the ice fighting the King Ghidorah? Which one? Which one's better?
Oh man, that's tough.
AJ, these questions get hard as we go along, so you have to throw a ride.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go with 19 for the sheer fact of the music. Get chilled.
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
19 barely, just because when he comes out and the look he has on his face is like he knows it. 19, but barely. 14's good too.
The ice, because we actually got to fight.
I guess I'm the one. I guess I'm the odd man duck out of this. So devil's advocate. I'm going with 14. Just him at the airport, and they pan up, and they had that music like and it cuts out, and he just roars into the camera. I like that one slightly better than 2019. All right. Here we go. I mentioned this earlier about the King Kong films. Where does Kong Skull Island rank in your list of favorite King Kong films? So go from your most favorite to your least favorite. And if you want to throw in like the ones I consider Kong films, of course, 33, King Kong vs. Godzilla, Escapes, 76, King Kong Lives, the 2005 and Skull Island. I don't really count Son of Kong because King Kong technically is not in the film, but if you want to throw it in there, you can. So rank your King Kong films. Where does Kong Skull Island rank in your most favorite to least favorite ranking of King Kong films? Go for it, AJ.
I would say it ranks second, with the original being first.
So what's your list?
All right,
What's your
so
list?
I'm going to probably be exposed here on my King Kong knowledge. So it's 33, obviously. I would put Skull Island, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then is it Return of Kong where it's the parents and the kid? Which one is it?
King Kong Lives.
Yes.
That's King Kong.
That one as a kid I loved. It's probably terrible. I haven't seen it in years, but I love that movie. So I'm going to put that one there. And then I'm probably going to stop there because I don't remember the rest. Exposed on my King Kong list.
So no King Kong Escapes, no 76,
Oh.
no 2005, no nothing.
I don't like 2005, which I don't like
You mentioned-
bare knuckle Kong, man. He needs to stand
Yeah, but
up.
you
Right? He's a
mentioned-
monster. He's not a. I don't know. And yes,
you mentioned
I will.
Mechanic Kong. You mentioned
Yes,
Mechanic
King
Kong
Kong,
earlier.
no, King Kong Escapes. I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize. Put it on the list.
Your list- no, do it all over again because your list is disjointed. Your favorite to your least favorite, what is it? Go for it.
All right. 33. Kong Skull Island, Godzilla vs. Kong, King Kong Lives, which is probably terrible, and King Kong Escapes because Gorosaurus and Mechanic Kong are incredible.
All
And
right,
that's
Matt,
it.
go for it.
All right.
Matt, go for it.
33, Skull, Kong versus Godzilla, 76, then Escapes, then Lives. Am I missing any? Oh, then 05.
Go for it, William.
Original, Skull Island, King Kong versus Godzilla. I'm going to go with 05. King Kong Escapes, King Kong 76, and King Kong Lives. I think that's all of them.
Phil, go for it.
33, 17, 76, 62, 67, 05, and then 86.
King Kong vs. Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, the original Kong, 2005 Kong, King Kong Escapes, King Kong 76, and then King Kong Lives.
Mine is King Kong Escapes, King Kong 76, King Kong versus Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, 33 King Kong, 2005 King Kong, and the one where he knocks up Lady Kong, King Kong Lives.
Let's go.
Thank God we didn't see that, because if you remember the film, he breaks her out the next day. He tries to give her a snake as a gift. I mean, what lady wants a daggone snake as a gift? And then the very next day, they capture Lady Kong, and then they found out while she's locked up that she's pregnant. So that means he had been doing the nasty that night, and the two protagonists didn't hear anything. They were right there, camped out right next to him. They didn't hear Kong go. Okay, this is a family show. Let's keep it moving.
There's like Departed with the best pickup line ever. You don't have any cats? I like that. And then it's the same thing. Like, "You have any snakes? No? I like that."
I can see Kong now talking to Lady Kong trying to make Lady Kong feel sorry for him. Like, yeah, man, the last girl I was involved with had me shot, and I'm a victim here. I was on my home just chilling like a villain, but then I see this girl, and then I get wrapped up and I get shot. I'm trying to live my life here. I'm trying to live my best life. So can you help a brother out? Can you turn over? Once again, it's a family show. All right, number 5. What is the most disappointing collectible in your opinion from the MONSTERVERSE? William, I know where you stand with this, but AJ, go ahead.
I don't have one.
Okay.
I only got the 4, and I love them all. I guess it would have to be. I guess it would have to be this guy because sometimes he doesn't light up, all that well. I gotta jiggle them a lot. This happens to be my daughter's favorite, as it's her nightlight from her room. But yeah, you gotta jiggle it a lot to get it right. But I guess that's it.
All right, Matt.
I like them all that I have.
So there's not a dud in your opinion.
What do you mean? What?
No
So
dud.
there's not a dud. No duds.
They're all home runs.
They're all great.
Well, the ones that I own
They're
are
all
great.
home runs?
I
Okay.
mean, I have a
cool.
big Presto Ghidorah with giant heads and a little body.
Okay.
So that one's okay. If I had to pick one, it'd be that one. The Van Presto King Ghidorah from 2019.
Okay. William, go for
This guy.
it. Shocker.
Oh, the green King Ghidorah?
This guy is.
Is that the Rick William or no?
No, this is the standard. I picked him up today for all this, and I haven't looked at him in a while. I was like, oh, maybe maybe he isn't as like bad as I thought he was. And then I was like looking at him again, and I'm just like, this is so frustrating. I've never been so disappointed in an X Plus figure. I'll be honest with you.
All right, William, go for it.
So I did mine already. I did my little rant.
I don't even have to say anything because I'm with William. That Ghidorah is terrible. The paint is just terrible. So
Butch.
Bandai Mafia.
It looks so sad.
Butch, you have the Rick King Ghidorah, right?
Yes.
Is that one gold, or is that also still like
it
green?
lights up. It's got a cool light up, I think.
Yeah, it's got
I
a
know.
great light up.
I know, but I mean, did they actually paint him like gold as opposed to like this greenish?
It kind of
Color.
looks goldish, kind of.
Yeah, kind
Actually, you know what?
Kind of.
In certain, in certain lighting conditions, it does look gold, but when you put it
Right.
like just like once you have it in your hands, it's like a muted gold. It's not like a bright gold like we're accustomed to. And considering that majority of the time, well, actually all the time we see King Ghidorah is like in a situation where there's wind, rain, bad weather conditions where we can't really get a good look at him. The paint job works. I think a lot of people disconnect with the figure. The S Plus promotional figures doesn't look like the finished product. I think that's what a lot of people is really just up in arms about. With that being said, to answer this question, what is the most disappointing collectible? Honestly, what they have done so far, I actually like them all. I'm with Matt on this, where I don't really see a dud. Are there ones where I didn't really particular get? Well, I guess I wouldn't call it disappointing, but I guess if you want to say so, I'm like I said, I'm not a big fan of Skull Crawler, so I get that would be my answer. Number 6, what is your favorite collectible from the MonsterVerse?
The gigantic Rick.
Matt?
My favorite's the gigantic 2019 standard. That's one I got.
William?
My Rick Rodan, definitely real.
Phil, you gonna bring him up?
Big guy.
Yeah, charging rent.
Unbelievable.
Let's go for it.
Probably this.
Okay. Mine is the gigantic Rick 2019. All right. Number 7. Which early fight scene is your favorite between these two? Kong versus the helicopters from Skull Island, or round 1 from King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah?
Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah.
Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah.
Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Same.
Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah.
And after 2 hours, we finally agree on something. Yay!
Unanimous.
All right. Here's an interesting question. Where does the MonsterVerse rank amongst the other eras of Godzilla films? So basically, rank the MonsterVerse films from your least favorite to your most favorite to your least favorite. And here's how you do it. Instead of like doing like Showa, Heisei, Millennium, do 50s, 60s, 70s, Heisei, Millennium, and the MONSTERVERSE. So go for it.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go obviously 50s. I'm gonna go 60s. Then I'm gonna go 70s. I'm just gonna do Heisei, the whole thing. Then I'm gonna do the MONSTERVERSE, and then I'm gonna put Millennium at the tail end.
Matt,
Do Showa, Heisei, MONSTERVERSE, then Millennium.
William,
60s, 70s, Heisei, 50s, MONSTERVERSE. MONSTERVERSE, then Millennium.
go for it. Phillip,
70s, 60s, MONSTERVERSE. Heisei,
Up.
50s, and then Millennium.
Butch,
I agree with Matt. Showa, Heisei, MONSTERVERSE, then Millennium.
mine is 70s, 60s, Heisei, MONSTERVERSE, Millennium, and then the 50s. Number 9, which death killer is your favorite? The Kiss of Death in 2014, Kong ripping out their insides in Skull Island, or Fire Godzilla incinerating King Ghidorah?
I'm gonna go with the Kiss of Death because it's the closest we've ever seen Godzilla come to being in a Mortal Kombat game.
Go for it, Matt.
Godzilla obliterating King Ghidorah.
William,
I'm gonna go with the Kiss of Death.
Phillip, never mind. I ain't gonna ask you. You got it on screen. Butch, go for it.
Probably the Kiss of Death.
Me too. I'm with you. Kiss of Death. All right. What is your favorite Easter egg / old school reference from King of the Monsters?
When Godzilla gets knocked down and he stands up and they give him the original 54 roar in the Antarctica scene.
Matt?
I love the scene when Ghidorah's about to kill the little girl, and then Godzilla does that more classic roar when he's about to fight the battle in Boston.
William?
The Biolante reference at the end credits.
Ah, yes.
Phillip?
I gotta agree with Matt. That classic roar, because it goes silent there for a second, and then you hear that classic roar. That gave me goosebumps, man. That was awesome.
Butch?
I agree with Matt too.
My favorite Easter egg or reference is I like the fact that they refer to King Ghidorah majority of the film as Monster Zero. That was like my favorite reference.
Yeah.
Number 11. Who was your favorite human character from the MONSTERVERSE?
None of them. It'll be Sarah's out.
Matt?
Terizawa.
It sounds terrible because he's actually my favorite, but I don't remember his name, so this is awful. Tom Hiddleston's character in Skull Island.
Conrad, right?
What is his name?
That's Conrad.
Yeah, I think it was Conrad.
Listen, no one knows anyone's
Yeah,
name.
it's Conrad.
No one knows anyone's name.
All right, Phillip, go for it.
Oh, probably Samuel L. Jackson. He did good in that movie, I thought. I enjoyed it.
He did. He was a prick, but he was an enjoyable prick. I actually like his character too. I really. All right, Butch.
It's kind of a tie between Ken Watanabe's Dr. Serizawa and John C. Reilly's character in Kong Skull Island. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Dr. Serizawa.
Let them fight.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same way. I actually like him better in King of the Monsters versus 2014, where all he does this every now and then in the movies like. I'm like, say something. Don't trash. Just say something. All right. Here's an interesting question. Here's an interesting question. Of course, we know Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra and King Ghidorah are in King of the Monsters. But as we all know, throughout the years of the Tokusatsu films, Toho films, as far as all four of those monsters or kaiju being in the same film, there were, quite frankly, they're in a lot of them, but together they're only in four. Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Destroy All Monsters, Final Wars, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. Rank them from your most favorite to your least favorite. Those four films where you have all those four kaiju in that film.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Why do I feel like wait, is Monster Planet X Monster Zero is not
Monsters
in that?
No, because Mothra's not in it.
Oh my man, I'm just blurring movies together now.
I mean, because Monster Zero has Godzilla, Rodan, and King Ghidorah, not Mothra. GMK has Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, not Rodan. Rebirth of Mothra 3 has Mothra and King Ghidorah, not Godzilla and Rodan. So which of those four? Like I said, Ghidorah Three-Headed Monster, King of the Monsters 2019, Destroy All Monsters, and Final Wars. Rank them for your most favorite to your least favorite.
It would have to be Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and this is really a toss-up between the two. Destroy All Monsters and Final Wars.
All right, Matt, go for it.
King of the Monsters, Ghidorah, Three-Headed Monster, then Destroy All Monsters, and then Dead Last Final Wars.
William?
Ghidorah, the three-headed space monster. I'm going to say Destroy All Monsters, King of the Monsters, and then way, 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 way down there, Final Wars.
Phil?
Should have been so much better.
Oh boy, this ain't going to be popular. Ghidorah, Three-Headed Monster, King of the Monsters, Final Wars,
Woo!
Destroy All Monsters.
I used to like you, Phil.
I just don't like the final battle in Destroy All Monsters. It's not
okay.
good.
It's very depressing.
It's not good.
Yeah, as everyone just stomps them out.
Gets beat by Minya. Gets choked out by Minya.
Yeah, seriously.
Sorry, Leslie.
Hey, you're fine. If you look at tomorrow morning and half your subscriber count is down, that's on you, buddy. Hey, you said it. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Hey, I do agree, Philip. When it comes to Destroy All Monsters, I like the film, but I do believe it's overrated. That's probably the most overrated Godzilla film in the franchise, in my opinion.
And it's one of my favorite suits.
Yeah, I know. So it's like a catch-22 for you. You love the suit, but the movie is like man.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, Butch, go for it.
I actually agree with Phil on that. Number one would probably be King of the Monsters. Number two, Ghidorah Three-Headed Monster. Number three, Final Wars. And then four, Destroy All Monsters.
Again, if you look up tomorrow morning and have your
Oh my God.
Okay. Let's see. For me, Ghidorah, King of the Monsters, Destroy All Monsters, and Final Wars. All right, number 13. What monster should X Plus make next, and what line? And name the Rick option.
Oh boy. Gigantic Gigantic Godzilla 74, and the Rick option should be the towers and blood that attach to his body.
No, for the MONSTERVERSE.
Oh, that would be better.
Except before Godzilla was a MONSTERVERSE, could you let me know where it is?
I completely just. I would love to see a full 30-centimeter flying like Rodan with a volcano base as the Rick. I don't think we'll ever get a 30-centimeter flyer of any kind, but that kind of wingspan would be ridiculous.
Matt, go for it.
All right, since you said Rodan, I'm going to go gigantic Mothra 2019 and the Rick option. Inside the base, there'd be like a blue like LED light that shines upward at Mothra. So when you have your lights off, it looks like Mothra's emerging from the waterfall.
Oh,
Sweet.
nice.
That sounds awesome.
All right, William, go for it.
I would say I would almost want to see a 30 centimeter Muto at this point. It's odd that they're very into completing lines from films, so I would definitely like that. For the Muto, I would say I would almost want a detachable head, and one of the heads having the nuclear warhead that it carries in its mouth. Have that option as well, like 2 different heads that you can use, like Baragon.
That'd be cool.
Go ahead, Phillip.
I have to mirror William there. I like the female Muto 30 centimeter to go with the 30 centimeter Godzillas. And the Rick, might sound weird, translucent belly with the pregnant babies in there, and you can see them. That would be cool.
I dig it. I dig it, Phil.
When YouTube takes this video down now for not being family friendly, we all know.
I'm telling you.
That'd just
I'm
be,
telling you.
that would be unique. It would be
I want
unique.
the eggs to light up. Take it down. Take it down.
All right. As long as he's not asking for a Lady Kong pregnant, I'm good with that. What he said. So.
Well, AJ's gonna like that. He likes King Kong Lives.
Oh yeah, bring it on. Come on. The day one purchase for me. Let's go.
Yeah, explain that. Yeah, that's the Rick. Lady Kong is standing up for her not being pregnant. The Rick is her being pregnant.
Oh my God.
It comes with a bouquet of snakes.
Oh my God, I got a headache from laughing so hard. All right, let's go for it.
Well, I know we're getting a 25 centimeter Godzilla already, but I don't know what the Rick option would be. If I had to pick a Rick for that, I would have to say maybe either a light up or maybe for fun, like maybe King Ghidorah, like an interchangeable head with King Ghidorah's neck in his mouth or something. And for, I guess, 25, also another one would be 25 centimeter flying Rodan, maybe with the volcano base.
For me, since he's lonely, a gigantic King Kong. The Rick option, if you can have like the regular sculpt with him roaring, give him like an alternate head where you can, have it closed mouth like you did with the gigantic Shin Godzilla a few years ago. All right, here we go. Which new monster did the MONSTERVERSE introduce that interests you the most?
Behemoth.
Matt?
The big one that came out of the mountain, that's Behemoth, right?
You mean like the big turtle one? Like the big, like almost like the.
Oh yeah, I forget that one's name is.
Yeah, looking from the side of the mountain, it looks like Summit Kaiju a little bit. I like that one.
I'm still shocked.
All right,
That's not
William.
okay.
I'm gonna do a deep dive here and go with the squid that they talked about in the book.
Okay.
I read that. It actually was really cool and also very frightening all at the same time.
All right, Phillip, go for it.
The skull crawlers.
Butch?
Skull crawlers.
I'm with AJ. I want to see a Behemoth. For some reason, that Kaiju looks cool. Even though he looks like a steroid version of Mr. Snuffleupagus, I do like that Kaiju.
Yeah, he'd probably get wrecked by everybody, but yeah, he just looks cool.
It'll be the
I don't
anger
know about that.
MONSTERVERSE.
I don't know about that because that Behemoth's got those tusks, so he could like stab somebody like 2 miles before they get to him. So I don't know. I mean, he's just an interesting Kaiju. When I saw it, I saw him walking. I was like, wait a minute, I will see more of him. And we kind of do at the very end, but that's something I want to see in Godzilla vs. Kong, quite frankly. All right, We got like 5 more to go, and then we're out of here. Which trio of films are better, the MonsterVerse or the Gamera Heisei films?
Oh,
Gamera Heisei films.
Yeah, Matt, answer this question because you got it the last time. You got it the last time with the Destroyer comment. So where does the Gamera Heisei film rank against the MonsterVerse?
Gamera 2 is the best monster movie ever made.
the Gamera trilogy. The Gamera trilogy.
William?
I'm going to sidestep this question a little bit. I think the Gamera Heisei trilogy overall are better films, and they're just better made in a lot of different ways. But I find myself going back. I would probably go back and watch the MonsterVerse more than I do the Gamera trilogy.
It's a good sidestep.
Phillip, go for it.
I gotta go with old Kong here, so MonsterVerse.
Butch?
MonsterVerse.
Woo!
I am going with it's hard because both trios of films are awesome, but I have to go with Gamera just a little bit more. I just love Gamera a little bit more than that. All right. Which announcement from the MonsterVerse got you more excited? The announcement of the acquisitions of Mothra, King Ghidorah, Rodan, or the acquisition of King Kong?
The acquisitions of the core 4.
Matt?
Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah.
The acquisition of the Big Four.
William?
The Big Four.
Phillip, don't let me down, man.
Kong. Kong.
Butch?
Big Four.
I'm with Kong because we have seen, how many times have we seen Godzilla fight Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Mothra? So many times. How many times did Godzilla fight King Kong? Only once. But when they announced King Kong and we finally got the rematch of all rematches coming, I was like, even though I was happy they were doing the other ones, I was like, but when they said they got King Kong and they're going to put him on the collision course, that got me super excited. Yes.
It's still so weird that we don't see Godzilla and Rodan fight in the new movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, Rodan should have got some shots in on Godzilla. It would have gave him more. You know, I mean,
Throw
that's
some
what
rocks at him or something.
But the trade-off with that was at least we got something that we never got to see before. We never got to see Mothra and Rodan fight in an aerial battle before. Can you imagine the show of Rodan fighting the show of Mothra in an older Showa film? That would have been great.
It's nice to know that Rodan has other moves other than doing like a 180 and going flying right towards the kaiju like he did in Straw Monster. So I like that.
Okay. All right, number 17. Which final battle for the MonsterVerse films is your favorite? Godzilla versus the two Mutos, Kong against the big skull crawler, or Godzilla versus King Ghidorah / Rodan and Mothra? Which final battle is your favorite?
I'm going to go with King of the Monsters. The burning Godzilla scene is just awesome with the kind of the homage to the nuclear pulse with Mothra wings added in. I just loved it.
Matt?
Boston.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna probably go with King of the Monsters, but the Kong fight is definitely a really, really close second.
Yeah.
I like how focused it is.
All right, Phillip?
I'm gonna say Kong, but just because it's in the day. Well, I'm hoping in Godzilla versus Kong we get some day fighting. It'd be nice, but
I hope half the movie's in the daytime. It better be.
yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
All right, Butch, go for it.
King of the Monsters, then second, Kong Skull Island, then third, 2014.
My favorite is the final battle from King of the Monsters. Two more, and then that's it. Which MonsterVerse Titan had the best performance? Godzilla, King Kong, or King Ghidorah?
I'm gonna say King Kong.
Matt?
Well, sheer theatricality, I think that Ghidorah had the best because the way how he just almost stole a show every time he was on screen. So I'd say Ghidorah.
William?
I'm going to say Kong because I think when it was announced that he was going to fight Godzilla again, I think everyone was like, well, how is he going to really fight? And I think they really made him a viable opponent for Godzilla in Skull Island.
Phillip?
Ghidorah, because of the beating that he put on Godzilla. No other Ghidorahs beat down Godzilla like that, in my view. So I want to say
Yeah, he
Ghidorah.
took him up to the atmosphere and dropped him from like space.
Right,
So, yeah,
right.
you can't make it with
And
that.
yet, when he got dropped from space, not a single human character even fell to the ground. Just saying.
Well, they manipulated. They went on the screen.
All right, Butch?
I have to say King Ghidorah, but with Godzilla second.
I'm with the agreement with Matt and Phil. King Ghidorah to me had the best performance out of all the Titans. And last question, and be completely honest with it. In your opinion, should the MonsterVerse continue after Godzilla vs. Kong?
Yes, absolutely. I think they've built something nice here. I would like for Godzilla to become the bad guy, and would like to see how we would showcase that. Kind of more how, like you were saying, the teaser stuff to Godzilla 14. Really, the whole destroyer of worlds and all that. Like, I want to see that. So yeah, hopefully, maybe Godzilla vs. Kong is the turning point where Godzilla says, "You know what? I'm done with this superhero stuff," and actually destroys a city to open up a movie. I'd like to see that.
Matt, go for it.
I mean, I'd love to see it continue on, but it depends on what they're going to do with Godzilla vs. Kong. I want to see them both as forces of nature. I don't really want to see a good guy or a bad guy. I just want to see them just go at it and have a winner. The idea of having to make one a good, one bad, I think would actually take away from what they both stand for. Because, I don't want to see Kong become a villain. I don't want to see Godzilla become a villain. I just want to see two forces of nature slam into each other and have a awesome fight. And where it goes afterwards, maybe like some kind of destroy all monsters kind of thing eventually build to that. But that means that they have to introduce more kaiju to have a fight that big. So, I'd love to see it continue. I just don't know exactly where it would go. But, it's very exciting to see where it could go.
William, go for it.
I'm torn because I would definitely like to see it continue. I definitely like the idea of it going on and really being something, could be something amazing. I think we've all seen that photo of like the timeline of like different movies that aren't real, but what someone has that idea of for a MonsterVerse. But also, I kind of wouldn't mind it ending after King Kong versus Godzilla. I think we've had such great luck with these films that if it was to end, I wouldn't really be that upset about it, to be honest. Godzilla, we got to see all the major opponents of Godzilla become, come into the new, moviegoers experience. So I would be okay if it ended after the next movie.
Phil?
Yeah, I want it to continue because I'm selfish and I want to see Gigan in the MonsterVerse. But I would love to see Gigan in the MonsterVerse. But if it was to end with Godzilla versus Kong, it feels like a perfect ending to me if it ends like that. So I would be okay with it, but I do want it to continue because I'm selfish for Gigan.
Butch?
I'd say yes, because I would like to see Biollante in the MonsterVerse and maybe updated Minya.
What?
And let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a Godzilla fan through and through. Y'all know that. I love Godzilla. I love the films. But in my opinion, after Godzilla vs. Kong, I think they should just stop. And the reason why I say that is not because I don't want to see any more Godzilla films, which I do. But this is the traditionalist in me talking once again. Godzilla is a character that is not appealing to the massive audience. I think the reason why 2014 did so well is because we didn't have like a Godzilla film come out since Final Wars, and for like an American film since 1998. So I think a lot of people miss Godzilla during that time period, and so they had time to miss him. And if you look at like during the course of time, the Showa series happened. They stopped in 75. Godzilla went away for 10 years, almost 10 years. And they came out with the Heisei, you know what I'm saying? Then they stopped in 95. Then they came back a few years later at 1999, 2000. After that, 2004 happened. Then they didn't do anything until 2014. So Godzilla is the character that, in my opinion, he's good to come at a certain point, then go away for a while. And I think after the MONSTERVERSE, they've been doing this for going on 6 years. And to me, Godzilla vs. Kong should be like the end game for the universe that they're building. So one of them has to lose. And I think the way they have built Kong up, the way they built Godzilla up, they're like the two anchors of this MONSTERVERSE. And now going forward, not having one of them doesn't make the MONSTERVERSE seem right, in my opinion. So they kind of back themselves into a corner creatively, in my opinion. So with that being said, I think they should end it. As long as they give us like a great story, the rematch we've been asking for, we've been clamoring for. As long as we get that, as long as we get the type of in-game-ish story that we're looking for when it comes to a rematch involving King Kong versus Godzilla, if they give us that, I believe they should end it. Because we all know that Toast is going to start making Godzilla films anyway. Now, the dream scenario is this. Legendary continues and Toast starts making their films. So we have like basically two different versions of Godzilla from different parts of the globe. But like I said, considering Godzilla is such a niche character, Godzilla is one of those characters, he doesn't really overstay his welcome. And I really appreciate about that way I've done with the film. So with that being said, it may be an unpopular opinion on my part, but going back what I've seen over the years, I mean, I think this fine what they have done with 2014, Skull Island, 2019, whatever they're going to do with Godzilla vs. Kong. After that, just end it, just end the story. And then maybe come back in a few years from now and do it. But that's just how I feel about the situation. And with that being said, that is it with the show. We are done. Once again, thank y'all so much for being part of this discussion. For 2.5 hours, we have talked about the MONSTERVERSE and our favorite collectibles from these films. Once again, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning, we hope that this kind of like took your mind off of things. You know what I mean? Of course, we can't make the problem that we're all going through go away, but hopefully we can, you know, have you go back and rewatch these films, re-examine these awesome collectibles, and try to take your mind off of this. As I mentioned earlier, where the G-Fest happened is not important. Where the Godzilla vs. Kong happened this year, when we get a trailer, it's not important. All that stuff is not important right now. What's important is that y'all stay informed, y'all stay safe, and that we have each other during this dark time, during these dark times. You know what I'm saying? It's about us restoring our way of life so we can get back to our fun on a normal basis. But every now and then, you're going to have shows like mine. Of course, you have YouTube shows like AJ's Kaiju Live, Godzilla 851, BRUTAZILLA, the Godzilla Files for the Kaiju King, and Collect All Monsters. You have all these shows that will bring you fun entertainment moments to try to take your mind off things. Because that's what we're here for. We're here for each other. We're Godzilla fans, yes, but we are human beings first. So that's why I want to everybody just understand that. You know, it sucks that we're going through what we're going through, but things could be a whole lot worse. And hopefully through this live stream, we have provided some fun, provided some laughs. Of course, you know, Final Wars being better than Destroy All Monsters and Lady Kong being pregnant. So hopefully we have, you know, done that for you just to help out. We're trying to do our part to help you out. Before I let these guys go individually, just name what is next coming on your channel. Just what other projects you got coming down the pipeline.
We did take last week off, but Kaiju Live will be back tomorrow night, Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. It will just be me. I'm trying to figure out a way to bring my dad and my sister into the feed. So hopefully I can do that. So it feels more like the family show that it typically is. So if you're looking to get some Godzilla toys, if not, just come and hang out with us tomorrow night between 8 and 11.
Matt, go for it.
So coming up this month, unless things get pushed back, I have the Defo Reel 99 coming. Also, I think the month after, I have the Defo Reel Orga Rick set coming. As far as anything else, I'm kind of holding off to see where my job and things like that are going to go. But I have a few unboxings coming up, and a few more gameplays. Just to watch out for those. So yeah, that's basically it for me.
William, what's next for you, buddy?
Right now, I'm going to try to get just back into videos. I know I haven't really posted anything since my Ghidorah video. Just been so very busy with, I think, the real world things that we're all dealing with. But I'm just going to try to kind of get back into some more videos, trying to do some things to kind of just relax, after a long day of work. So I'm definitely, you're going to see more videos from me. Just my normal mix of different things.
Phillip?
Yeah, I'm always thinking of working on some videos. I think my next video will probably be another fantasy kaiju battle. Probably Anguirus versus Baragon. And speaking of Baragon, Leslie, where's your review for Baragon?
Well,
yeah, man, where's that review?
Funny. It's funny, I got like majority of it filmed. There's a few more stuff I want to add to it, and I still got to edit it. But I still got a few things I have to do, like Colin 2.0, a few those authentic books reviews I got to do. It's just that once this virus hit, and once it just made me not focus on the Godzilla stuff for a while. Obviously so, right? But now that we've been, told to stay indoors, I'm being indoors a whole lot more now. Aside from me working. I will get these videos, up and running. It's just that sometimes real life just like, gets you. You know what I'm saying? And which is one of the reasons why I was like, I want to get this show together so we can help other people. Try to take their minds off of things. You know what I mean? Because I want to help, even though I can't. If it were up to me, this virus would be gone tomorrow, and people would be back to work by tomorrow. And but it's not realistic right now. But if we can do our little part, provide some entertainment and make some people laugh and smile and blah blah blah, and show at the end of the day, we're all here for each other. That's why I want to do what I want to do. So don't worry, folks. We will get through this. It's not an if. We will get through this, but sometimes you have to go through the storm to get to brighter days. That may sound funny, they may sound cheesy or cliche-ish, whatever you want to call it, but that's just being real. And but we have each other. We're our resilient group, us Godzilla fans. Because even at the end of the day, even if you're stuck in a house, these films, Godzilla got like 34, 35 films. The good thing about Godzilla films, they have high replay value. So if you watch one, you can still watch it again tomorrow. So I can watch Godzilla's Megalon now and watch it again tomorrow. That's how good these films are. Not every film franchise can do that. You see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Phillip, go for it. I'm not Phillip, but Butch, go for it.
Well, I've been gone from YouTube for far too long, about 3 years, maybe even more. But I'm gonna try to get back into the flow of things, bring it back, and I wanted to promote this, but I don't know if it's even going to happen anymore. We were going to have a Godzilla convention here in my local town of Omaha, Nebraska, and it was called Kaiju Con Omaha, but I don't know if it's even going to happen anymore. But I was going to promote myself being there, and I was going to have a panel, and I was going to have my own panel there talking about King Kong versus Godzilla, the original, and then also a little bit of the new one, like what we would expect from the new one. So like I said, I don't know if it's even going to happen anymore, but I don't see myself going now because it was like in, I think, May 30th and May 31st. But it was going to be like the first convention we were going to have here in my hometown, and but yeah, but other than that, I'll probably just try to reopen my YouTube channel and start making videos again. And as far as G Fest goes, I don't know if I'm even going to go anymore. More than likely, probably not, because of all this stuff, But yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I still have a few reviews I got to do. Like I just said with Baragon, I got to do the Kong 2.0, a few books I got to do. Our next episode of Collect All Monsters is going down April 21st, I believe. And it's going to be just a Q&A episode. We'll give you more information once my crew and I get together on that. Also, after that, I want to do a new segment show on my channel called Kaiju Deep Dives, and where we focus on a particular film and just go head first in it. Because normally when I do these live streams devoted to a certain era, like the MONSTERVERSE or the Heisei films or whatever, we kind of skim through them where we don't really go into a lot of depth. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much to go into with these films, quite frankly. So I'm gonna start doing like every now and then a deep dive discussion into a particular film. And next month is timely because next month marks the 65th anniversary of probably one of the most overlooked Godzilla films in the franchise, 1955's Godzilla Raised Again. So probably you'll see the same guys here, and we're gonna be talking about nothing but Godzilla Raised Again. So that's what I got coming on my channel.
Banana oil.
So with that being said, once again, I want to thank every single one of these guys. Please subscribe to Aj Russo, the Kaiju Live. Please subscribe to Matt Jacobson, Gojo 851. Subscribe to the Godzilla Files. Subscribe to Phillip Kaiju King. Subscribe to BRUTAZILLA. Every one of these guys provide awesome shows, awesome content, passionate reviews, and I cannot recommend these guys enough. And I'm so thankful for y'all to come on this show. Everybody in the chat room, from John Ruffin, David Eric Dotco, Kaiju Battle, Liam Foley, over 9K. Too many of y'all to be mentioning. I'm sorry. Blame it on the heart, not the mind. Blame it on the mind, not the heart. And thank y'all so much for being part of the show. I hope we were able to help you, put a smile on your faces. And, once again, we will get through this together. It may seem dark, but trust me, it's always darkest before the dawn. So once again, thank you, AJ. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Phillip. Thank you, William. Thank you, Butch. And thank you, everybody, for being here on this awesome show devoted to the MONSTERVERSE. As I always end my videos, I'm going to end it like this. We thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. We will see y'all again on that Figure Move review. All right? Y'all take it easy.
Everybody.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Let's see. Okay. I think that is